Welcome to the December 10th, 2023 broadcast of We begin with Box 13. We move on to The Blind Spot. We visit with the Aldrich Family, and then Ozzie and Harriet. And we close with the MGM Theater of the Air. But first, let's find out about
The Man Who Ate a Fortune. You are in England, in the county of Gloucester, in the 18th century. Within a fine house overlooking the square, a dinner is being served. But first, come into the kitchen.
Hurry up there, Pietro. Dutch Picante will be ruined.
Ach, mein Gott, if you don't watch out, the turkey livers will be too done. Turn the spit there, fool, dummkopf.
Poor Enrique. He gets tired of dressing turkey livers all day long.
I've offered to do it for him, but he dare not let me. Mr. Rogerson had me sent all the way from Munich.
And yet it is a good life we lead. I have cooked for His Majesty the King, and even he never laid us such a table. It is a fine thing to cook for an epicure.
Oh, in no time he will have no money.
Oh, money? Why, Mr. Rogerson, he has a fortune.
Yeah? And what does he do with it? 100 pounds he pays for the plover's eggs direct from Brittany.
He's a olive oil shall come only from the trees which grow on a certain hill near Siena. Last month it cost him 500 pounds.
Remember the cold winter? He paid 100 pounds for the dish of strawberries on New Year's Day? Oh, he's a mad one, the master.
Someday he will eat simple food and be glad to have it.
No, I do not think so. If you cannot have delicacies, I think someday...
Monsieur le Comte, you are enjoying your dinner?
Yes, Monsieur Rogerson.
Will you not try these plover's eggs? They came from your own Brittany.
Ah, extraordinaire. How do you do it, Monsieur Rogerson? While eating, I have been transported from Italy to Spain and now back to France.
I am complimented, monsieur. You see, I have cooks from every country. Each prepares only one food. My friend Mr. Chambers here, he knows.
By Jove, yes. When we were traveling in Germany, we stopped at an inn in Munich, and there Rogerson had some turkey livers en brochette. From that day, he never rested until that cook was in his kitchen.
But, Monsieur Rogerson, if I may be so bold, do you never tire of this once in a while? Do you not forget delicacies?
Never. When my father died, he left me a fortune to do with as I please. I see. You would like, perhaps, a taste of wild honey. It was brought to me directly from an apiary on the slopes of Mount Hymettus.
Oh.
See, does it not suggest to you the sunlight of Greece, the flavor of the ancient days?
Ah, exquisite.
And when we came back, Monsieur le Comte, Rogerson had with him the favored recipes of every famous inn in Europe.
And in another 2 years, all the favored cooks were in my kitchen also. Monsieur, will you try a little specialty of mine?
Ah, what a delicate fragrance. And what are these?
Sturgeon eggs from the Volga.
Tiens.
I have the fish brought to me alive.
Oh, mais non.
A cook from the Russian Imperial Court has prepared a sauce this evening especially for you.
Mon Dieu, you are incomparable. C'est une chose incroyable. Jamais de la vie, jamais
When Mr. Rogerson's father died, he left a fortune of $750,000. In 9 years, Rogerson was penniless. During that time, he counted the minutes between meals. Then, without money to buy the delicacies he craved, he could not face life and committed suicide. Strange as it seems, in 9 years, he had actually eaten a fortune of $750,000. Birth of the Star-Spangled Banner. 1812. The English have burned Washington. As they advance toward Baltimore, they take many prisoners, among them being a certain Dr. Beans, innocent of any wrongdoing. Quickly, the prisoners are transferred to British warships at anchor off the coast near Fort McHenry. When this news comes to President Madison, he sends a young man under a flag of truce out to the enemy fleet. His rowboat is now approaching the British flagship.
Here we are, sir. Be careful, sir, when you stand up. Hold on tight to the companion ladder.
Oh, yes, thank you. I will. There. I have it now. You'd better not wait. It's dangerous here. Our guns might fire on this ship.
Very well, sir. I row back ashore.
Oh, these steps are steep. Ropes are sharp.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, I'm Francis Scott Key, under flag of truce with a message from President Madison to Admiral Cockburn.
Very good, sir. Please come with me to the quarterdeck. Up this ladder, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir?
Officer of the deck presents his compliments to Admiral Cockburn. An enemy messenger, Mr. Key, is here under flag of truce to see the Admiral.
Just a moment, sir. Admiral Cockburn, sir. An enemy messenger on the flag of truce.
See him?
You may come in, sir.
I'm Admiral Cockburn.
I am Francis Scott Key. President Madison requests the release of Dr. Beans. Dr. Beans is in no way connected with government business, sir. You see...
Dr. Beans. Let me see. Oh, yes. I cannot give you an immediate answer, Mr. Key. Won't you sit down? You see, there are several items connected with this matter that we... Watson, take care of this prisoner. My place is on deck.
Mr. Key, you come with me, sir. I regret I must place you in this inner cabin for the present, sir.
All night, the firing continues, while Francis Scott Key is alone in his cabin, wondering what side will have the final victory. At last, dawn breaks, gray and forbidding over the water. In the distance, Key can see the outline of Fort McHenry. He strains his eyes to discover who now holds the fortress.
Say, can you see? By the dawn's early... If it were only a little lighter, I could see. Well, thank God, a rocket over Fort McHenry. Our flag is still flying. Our flag is still there. That's it, our flag is still there. And the rocket's red glare gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
1814. In Baltimore, a family has finished its supper, and Eliza has settled down to read the Baltimore Patriot.
Mamie? Yes, Eliza? Here's a new song. Listen. That has quite a swing to it. I tell you, let's play it on the piano. I'll wager that Ned and Father will be right in here. All right. Here, I'll fold it so it won't fall over. Now. The dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed.
Hey, what's all this?
I thought this would bring you. It's a new piece of music called the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, well, that's very good. Hey, that's excellent. Who wrote it?
Francis Scott Key.
Really? Why, I used to know him. Well.
What's this?
Oh, come on in, Dad. It's a new piece of music.
Stop it nonsense. I've heard that tune for 40 years.
But, Father, it's just been printed. The music is by James Stafford Smith.
Again, I say nonsense. That's an old drinking song, and I don't approve of young girls singing it.
A drinking song? Oh.
Well, yes, of course it is. I've sung that song with friends in London over many a tankard of ale. This Smith is trying to play a hoax. You just listen to me. To an Akron in heaven, where he sat in full glee, a few sons of harmony sent a Now then, do I speak the truth or do I not?
Whether it's a drinking song or whether it's a marching song, I don't know, Father dear. But I don't think you're a very good singer.
What's that? What's that?
This tune was first of all a stately old song of France. Then it was brought to England and turned into a drinking song to honor a famous Greek poet named Anacreon. It was he who originated the phrase wine, women, and song. 20 years later, James Stafford Smith lifted the tune bodily and said that he had written the music to Francis Scott Key's words. Strange as it seems, the Star-Spangled Banner, the official anthem of the United States, was a French tune sung in an English tavern to honor a Greek poet.
Box 13, with the star of Paramount Pictures, Alan Ladd, as Dan Holliday.
Box 13, Box 13, Box 13, Box 13, Box 13.
Well, this is great. Rain, rain, rain. I'll bet even the ducks wouldn't come out in weather like this. But me, I'm an idiot. I gotta go and take up a profession like being a writer. I couldn't take up something easy. Oh, no, not me. I gotta be a writer so I can be out on nice, cold, wet nights, beating my brains out, looking for an idea. Idea. Deadline. Oh, sure. Mustn't forget that ever-loving deadline. What a way to make a living. I could have stayed a reporter at the Star Times and had nice assignments, like listening to political speeches or covering the opening of a new manhole. Oh, no, but not me. I have to write fiction. Do it the hard way. Well, I might as well take the usual hand, open the usual door to the usual place, and hear the usual comments.
Hiya, Mr. Holliday.
Hiya.
Coffee boy. Hiya, Dan.
What do you say, Ed?
How did I want you? How goes it, Holliday?
Oh, pretty good.
Where's the makeup on page 4? Hiya, Mr. Holliday.
How are you?
Hiya, Mr. Holliday.
Hello, Susie. Anything in box 13?
Box 13, starring Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday. Now for Box 13, starring Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
What a character I am. Standing here in front of the want-ad counter in a newspaper office while the rain runs down off my coat collar into my shoes.
Mr. Holliday.
I gotta ruin my last pair of... Huh? What's that, Susie?
I said there's a message in box 13 for you. Here.
Oh. Thanks, Susie.
Don't mention it. Say, aren't you going to open it?
Sorry. Not here, Susie.
You know, you got all of us down here at the Star Times awful curious, Mr. Holliday, running that ad.
Have I?
You've been running it for months. Why don't you change it?
Well, I haven't read it for so long I've forgotten the words. How's it go?
Don't you remember? Adventure wanted. We'll go any place, do anything. How about that?
I still like it.
You'd do a lot better with adventure if you ran your picture with the ad.
Oh, no, thanks. Just keep on running it the way it is.
But, gee, aren't you ever going to tell us what you do for a living while you keep running that ad?
Susie, same old question, same old answer. No. Well, if I'm not doing anything else, at least I've got the people at the Star-Times curious. They'd think my brain cells were 10 feet off first base if they knew why I really run that ad. Maybe they are. You can help a person out of great trouble and gain an adventure for yourself if you call Chester 8945 and ask for Carla Williams. Chester 8945. Carla Williams. Sounds like an interesting name. Well, I hope she's home.
Hello?
Oh, this is the man from Box 13.
Oh? Tell me, are you serious, or was that ad just a joke?
No joke, Miss Williams.
Are you willing to try anything?
Well, that depends. What's on your mind?
I can't discuss it over the phone. Will you meet me?
Of course.
There's a little French restaurant down on Ledge Street. Meet me there in the cocktail lounge.
What time?
Make it 10 o'clock tonight. Tell the bartender you want to speak to Carla Williams.
French restaurant on Ledge, 10 o'clock. Oh, what block number?
The 600 block. You won't fail me. You'll be there.
Lady, if it were winter, I'd come with bells on. This sounds like the beginning of a very interesting story. Beautiful woman in distress calls on struggling writer for help. Only she doesn't know I'm a writer, and I don't know she's beautiful.
What's yours, mister?
Oh, I'm looking for a Carla Williams.
Oh, yeah. She's sitting over there in that front booth.
Thanks. Carla Williams?
Yes.
Oh-ho. Carla Williams could be material for a love story or an adventure story. Or maybe both.
And, do you have a name?
Oh, yes. Dan Holliday.
Sit down.
Oh, thanks.
I'm agreeably surprised. I didn't think a person would get such a satisfactory reply from a want ad.
And I didn't think I'd get such a nice replier.
You're wondering about me, aren't you? You're wondering why you're here.
Naturally.
Well, I'm being blackmailed.
That's a very nasty business.
I've been paying blackmail for 5 years, but tonight's the end. I'm to meet him in 15 minutes and make the final payment and get the letters.
Well, that sounds like the end of your troubles.
But is it? I can't be sure. That's why I need your help.
But what can I do?
Well, you can be there as a witness. You can make sure this is the end. You can see that I get the letters and get away safely.
Lady, you need the police.
Why? To make sure everything I've kept hidden for 5 years comes out in the open?
Maybe a friend could do it.
My friends would be the last ones on earth I'd want to know. Are you afraid?
No.
You advertised for adventure?
Blackmail isn't my idea of adventure.
I'm sorry if my trouble doesn't measure up to your expectations. The best I could do on such short notice.
Uh-oh. Well, I guess I had that coming.
Maybe this isn't your idea of adventure, but I do need help. I need help badly. Let's leave it at that.
Now, that might appeal to my early Boy Scout training.
Then you will?
I always help ladies across blackmail raps. What happens if your friend makes trouble?
We can't make any trouble.
He seems to have done all right for the past 5 years.
There won't be any trouble if you're along. Here, reach under the table. Take this.
Oh, now, wait a minute. It's a gun.
Put it in your pocket. Don't let anyone see it.
This is supposed to make everything all right?
Well, you won't need it, believe me. I thought it would make you feel better.
It makes me feel like a policeman. And I still think a policeman is what you want.
But you promised.
I said maybe.
I have to meet him in 15 minutes. Please help me.
Where do we go?
His apartment.
Far from here?
We can make it if we leave now. What do you say?
Maybe I should never have been a Boy Scout. I watched Carla Williams closely as we ride over to the apartment where she used to meet this man she's been talking about. She's perfectly groomed with a certain niceness about her, except for those twin furrows of worry between her eyes and a cold look of anxiety. I don't think I would like to have her angry at me, though.
That's funny. You should have been here 20 minutes ago.
Why don't you try the door?
It was unlocked.
Might as well wait inside. Unless you have any objections.
Not at all. There's a light switch on your right. The living room is straight ahead.
Say, you sound like you're familiar with the place.
Why not? I've been here many times before.
There's a light on in there. Suppose he might have fallen asleep?
Waiting for his money? Hardly.
Well, this is more like it. And this spot is nicely furnished.
With my money. But at least we can sit down and make us... Oh, no.
Miss Williams, what's the matter? What happened?
On the floor by the desk, look.
You stay here.
Well...
You'd better call the police. He's dead.
Dead?
Yeah, he's been shot. Once. Through the heart.
I'm glad.
He's the one? The man who was blackmailing you?
Yes. Could you go through his pockets? He must have some of those letters with him. Look in his coat pocket.
Just a minute, Miss Williams. You don't understand. This man has been murdered. You've got to call the police.
Murdered? What makes you so sure?
There's no gun around any place.
Just the same before the police come. His pockets. Please, I've got to have those letters.
Okay. But it isn't right. Are these what you wanted?
Let me see. Yeah. They're all here.
Now, where's the telephone? We've got to get the police up here and fast.
There is no phone.
No? How do you know without looking unless...
I told you I've been here before.
Oh, yes, I forgot. We'll go downstairs. There's a payphone in the lobby. Tell the police to come up here right away. And come back and we'll wait for them.
You're not planning to leave while I'm downstairs, are you?
No. Here's a nickel. Just dial 0 and tell the operator you want the police. Hurry.
But you'll be here.
Call, I said. I wanted adventure, so I put an ad in a newspaper. And I certainly found what I wanted. Only this isn't good. The man is lying dead on the floor of this apartment. And Carla Williams and I will have to get down to the police headquarters and answer 1,000,000 questions. All of them embarrassing. I hope she's made the calls. Say, that's funny. Why would there be a telephone directory in a place where there's no phone? Or maybe there is one. Of course, right here in the hallway. I wonder why she said there was no phone here. Maybe it's been disconnected.
Operator. This is the operator.
Oh, fine. I've written a dozen stories like this. And whenever I've reached this point, the hero always finds that he's been framed. Framed? The gun. I gotta look at that gun. Gotta find out if it's been fired. One shot has been fired. And the police surgeon will probably find a bullet from this gun in a dead man's body. The police. Seems like little Carla took care of that. Me, I'm going to take care of something else. I'm leaving.
You are listening to Box 13, starring Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday. Once again, Box 13, starring Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
Well, right now I'm wishing I were half as smart as the heroes of some of my stories. I've got a murder, strange woman, a strange apartment, and a strange feeling that this might not work out to a happy ending. What I need is a cab, a quick trip home, a short drink, and a long, long think.
Sure is a rotten night to be out.
Yeah, it sure is.
Never seen such rain.
Not so good.
Cops are sure busy tonight.
Sounds like it.
Wonder who they're after.
I wouldn't have any idea.
Could be a murderer, you know.
Yeah, just could be.
Just a night for a murder.
Perfect.
How come you got so wet?
It's raining.
I know, but how come?
My umbrella needs recovering.
You want the Normandy Arms?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's your building up ahead, but it looks like you got lots of company.
What do you mean?
Them's prowl cars, mister. All over the place.
Oh, this is very nice. Carla Williams called the police and must have mentioned my name in passing. I'm the type of interesting young fellow that any cop would like to meet, especially with a murder weapon in my pocket. Tonight, Mr. Holliday, I think you will sleep elsewhere.
Want me to pull right in where all them cops are?
No, they look busy, so maybe we'd better not bother them. Just keep on driving.
But this is where you live, ain't it?
I don't feel like going home tonight.
I could shove them cops aside, you know. This is legitimate hack.
That would be fun, but don't bother.
You're the boss, mister. Where to?
There's a place down on Franklin Avenue. 1612, I think.
I know that place. That's the cheapest hotel in town.
Yes, I believe it is.
Hey, how do you know about a place like that?
I got information there for a story.
What, a joint like that? What are you going there tonight for?
To sleep.
You writing another story?
I'm living one.
Living one?
Yes, I left my typewriter at home.
Well, Mr. Holliday, to what do we owe this great pleasure?
Maybe you're just lucky.
More research on the seamier side of life?
No, not tonight. I'm looking for a room.
A room? Might I remind you, Mr. Holliday, this ain't the Roney Plaza.
Have you got a room?
Any particular exposure you might like?
The less, the better.
I'm sure we can fix you up. That is, if you're willing to pay in advance.
Buck and a half, how much?
$25, Mr. Holliday.
$25.
And if you committed the murder, it'll be $50, Mr. Holliday.
Come on, talk straight.
I don't want any trouble with the police.
What makes you think I'll cause you trouble with the police?
Little box called the radio, police calls. They're a lot of fun to listen to, Mr. Holliday.
Yeah, I'll bet they are.
You'll be comfortable here and safe.
I'm beginning to wonder if I could afford it.
With your money? Don't make me laugh.
I wasn't trying to. Where's your phone?
The one on the wall costs a nickel.
Thanks.
You're staying tonight, Mr. Holliday?
Hello?
You got back there in a hurry.
You. Where are you?
Still in town. What about the police? They with you?
What do you think?
Thanks for putting in a good word for me.
I had to. They made me. Look, I want to talk to you.
I know that feeling. I want to talk to you, too.
I can explain everything.
Like a gun with one bullet fired?
Yes.
A missing telephone that wasn't?
That, too.
Oh. Then you're just the little girl I want to have words with.
Can you come over here right away?
Are the police there?
That's right. Name the place, I'll meet you.
The corner of 6th and Victor, 10 minutes.
Right.
Follow me, Mr. Holliday.
Oh, where to?
Your room. This ain't the Roney Plaza, but the service is just the same.
I've changed my mind.
You're not staying?
Your rates are too high. I'll drop in again after I've made a fortune. Now I know how the fox feels when the hounds are closing in. Someday I'll have to write a story about a fox. Put that guy Burgess and his Peter Rabbit out of business. Hey, cab!
Oh, it's you again.
Yeah, I get around, don't I?
I thought you were set for the night.
No running ice water. 6th and Victor.
Where did you say you wanted to go?
6th and Victor.
But there ain't no place to sleep there.
Oh, I'm not sleepy. I just want to examine a fire hydrant.
Okay, mister. I'm glad it's your money and not mine.
If we keep on, it will be your money.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Say, is that tonight's extra lying up there?
Sure. Want to take a look at it?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
That picture they got of you on the front page is lousy.
What picture?
You look like you was facing the camera through a screen door.
Yeah, let me see that. Well, this is just wonderful. Prominent writer named by police. Carla Williams accuses Dan Holliday of the murder of Harry Granger. Grief-stricken girl witnessed the murder of her fiancé. And nice going, Carla. It's your word against mine, plus the evidence against me. Now I know why they wrote that song, I Get Along Without You Very Well.
Well, there's 6th and Victor.
Cruise on by.
You ain't gonna stop?
I haven't made up my mind.
There's like a couple of cops waiting around for somebody.
It's the way it looks to me.
That might be the law.
Yes, they might be.
What do you want to do now?
Get away from here and find a city directory. A chap by the name of Harry Granger should have a home. And he should have stayed in it. I'm either just ahead of the police or right behind them. And if this game keeps up much longer, I'll be right with them.
Yeah?
Oh, Harry Granger live here?
He did. You the police?
Well, no, not exactly.
A reporter?
I used to be.
Come here, you. I wonder if you're one of them blackmailers.
Just a minute, friend. My coat rips easy.
No, I guess not. If you were, you wouldn't be here.
Mind if I step in?
Come in. This whole thing's got me all upset.
You don't say. Oh, you said something about a blackmailer.
That's what I'm here for. I came to help Harry get rid of those rats.
You mean he was being blackmailed?
For 5 years. I lent him most of the money to pay off with. I told him he was a sucker, but it looks like I got here too late.
You heard what happened?
Saw it in the papers on my way from the station.
Have you told the police?
Not yet, but I'm going to. Who did you say you were?
I didn't say.
You know something about this?
I think I do now. I began to see the light when the city directory listed this place as Granger's apartment.
Can I help?
You might get into trouble.
Well, how?
Breaking into a woman's apartment. After this, I'll use a fire escape and more of my stories. They're the most interesting things about a building. From homicide, we'll be out in the hall seeing that no one comes in here. You'll have to work fast, Holliday. You'll have to find something that the police weren't looking for. There must be something. Bills, letters, cards, that's no good. Look for the obvious. That's what I always have my hero doing. Let's see, what's the obvious? Oh, the living room. Now, let's see. That's where the body was. Nothing obvious there. On the desk. No. The table. No. The fireplace. Hello. A small frame snapshot. And I think it might be just what I'm looking for. My old friend, the bartender, and Carla Williams. And with your arms around each other. You know, you two make a nice couple, a wonderful couple. I wonder if they'll let you have your arms around each other in the electric chair.
You are listening to Box 13, starring Alan Ladd as Dan Holliday.
Well, I finally made it. I'm down at police headquarters in the office of a tall, gangly character named Lieutenant Kling. Of course, a few things have happened. Carl and the bartender were brought in, too. He's so much cooler than I am. Oh, those cell bars give you such fine ventilation.
Holiday.
What's that, Lieutenant?
I said you were a very lucky citizen. After what Carla Williams told us, we thought you were guilty.
You should have told me that story. I'd have believed it myself. Proving that she and the bartender were married put a crimp in her act as the injured fiancé.
Yeah, you showed it up as the same old racket. Smart woman teams up with smart man to blackmail innocent citizen. But just the same, I think you should stick to your writing and let police work alone.
Lieutenant, I'll have that printed and framed in blonde walnut.
Hang it on the wall?
No, around my neck.
I'm glad to hear you say that. You may not always have a guy like this Grant who backed up your story.
Oh, Granger's friend?
That's the one.
Say, he's a nice fellow. Wants me to visit him on his ranch.
Why don't you do that?
Riding the range all day when I could be cooking in town?
Pardon me. Homicide, Lieutenant Kling. Oh, yes, he's here. It's for you, Holiday.
Oh, thanks. Hello?
Mr. Holliday, this is Susie.
Yes, Susie.
Can you come down to Star Times right away?
Well, what's the matter?
There's another letter for you in box 13.
Oh, no.
Should I open it and read it to you?
Oh, not now, Susie. I've got enough material to last me for a month. 3 weeks of which will be a rest.
Tell me where. Maybe I can come down and help you.
You really want to help me?
Sure I do, Mr. Holliday.
Then put that letter back in box 13.
But, Mr. Holliday...
Good night, Susie.
Next week, same time, Alan Ladd stars as Dan Holliday in Box 13. Alan Ladd appears through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures and may currently be seen in Wild Harvest. Box 13 is written and directed by Ted Hediger. Original music composed and conducted by Rudy Schrager. This is a Mayfair production.
businessman, the supremely confident woman, the boastful bluffer, the sly schemer, each is vulnerable. Each has some weakness, some chink in his armor, some little flaw that we call the blind spot.
Boy, how do we get into this joint?
Smash the plate glass window.
Very funny. Come on, bright boy, do something.
Okay. Give us a hammer and chisel.
Hammer and chisel coming up. It's all yours, boy.
Right. Here we go, Ducky. It's a noisy way of doing it for a bloke on the wrong side of the law, but us, we're strictly legit.
Oh, sure.
There we are, Duck. Entrance effected.
We'll look the place over before we get the equipment out of the truck.
Yeah. Dingy sort of place. Oh, it'll look better when the new tenants come in and clean it up. Oh, plus the advantages of electrical illumination.
This passage leads to the front of the shop.
Yeah. Hey, hold it a sec, will you?
Hey, what's the trouble?
There's something lying on the floor. You got a match?
Sure. Holy mackerel! A girl.
Is she
Is she dead? I don't know. Certainly looks like it.
Yes, Superintendent. It's all in now. Pardon? Oh, the girl's name was Doreen Hoskins, age about 20. The divisional surgeon, after his first examination of the body, says that death took place about 12 hours before the body was found. What's that? Oh, yes, the forensic boys will be carrying out a full post-mortem this afternoon. Oh, yes, I agree. It's a most peculiar story. But I've got the two men from the electrical firm outside now, Norman and Morrison. Well, I'll get them in separately and go over it again. Oh, yes, sir, I'll let you know. Sergeant, have Mr. Norman come in.
Right, sir. All right, Mr. Norman. In here, please.
Right, sir. Sit down, Norman. Dick Norman, isn't it?
That's right, Inspector. Oh, what comes after the official title?
Huh? Oh, yes, I'm Inspector Lamb.
I like to know the names of people I'm dealing with. Creates the right impression, sense of intimacy right off. I got that out of a course on business psychology.
Is that so? Well, we'll get back to that later. In the meantime, suppose you tell me, why did you and Morrison have to force an entrance into that shop?
Oh, the firm sent us here on a job. We had to renew the electrical wiring. All perished, you know. Well, the agents figured it was necessary before they could let it again.
Oh. Hey, didn't they give you keys to get in?
Oh, Inspector, I've been through this before.
And now you're going to have to go through it again.
Well, they gave me the keys on Tuesday when I was sent there on my own to remove the old fittings and make a report. When I went there with Doug Morrison to put the new lot in, it was Friday. No keys available.
Why not?
Funny lot of agents. Only had one set of keys.
The keys they gave you on Tuesday. What happened to them?
You know, soon I'll be repeating this little old story in my sleep. I'll send a wife crackers.
When you start sending me crackers, I'll let you know. Answer the question.
Well, Tuesday I'm working in the front part of the shop. Chap comes along, taps on the window, points to the door, and I let him in. Got the keys, he says. Yes, thanks, I says. Well, give them to me, he says. He produces a piece of paper torn out of an order pad. Order from the agent to hand over the keys. He's a prospective tenant, wants to look the place over. Well, he needs the keys to look in the other rooms, which are locked. I give them to him. Lighting won't suit for the business I'm opening, he says. Well, give me the job of chasing it, I say. All right, he says. We'll talk about it. Meet me tonight at 9 o'clock, corner Shaftesbury Avenue and Piccadilly Circus. Right, I says. Oh, what about the keys? Well, he says he'll drop them into the agents, and off he goes.
You met him at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I met him. He agreed to give me the job. Said we'd go back, look the place over, so he could tell me what he wanted. Then he finds he hasn't got the keys. It says he's left them in his car.
I thought he was going to drop them into the agents.
Yeah, well, he said he'd told them what he was going to do, so they told him to hang on to them.
I see. Go on. What next?
Oh, nothing next. He don't come back. I wait till 9:30, then I give it away. Take the train home, arrive about 11, have a cup of cocoa with the wife, and so to bed. End of Tuesday.
What do the agents say about your friend, the prospective tenant?
Oh, they've never heard of him. He's a phony. All he wanted was the keys.
Pretty old trick. Can you describe this man?
Oh, about 40 years old. A little less, maybe. Good 6 feet in height. Could be 6'1". Ginger moustache. Gold fillings in his 2 front teeth. Lean, well-built, ruddy complexion. Grey single-breasted suit. Green hat. Oh, well, a little feathered. Anything else, Inspector?
No, not now, Mr. Norman. I think you've done enough for the moment.
Well, if you want me, you got my address and telephone number?
Yes, we'll get in touch, Mr. Norman, if we want you.
I think we might take in a picture tonight, Molly, old girl.
Oh, I'd like that, Dickie. There's ever such a nice one on at the Odeon. Singing and dancing and full of technicolor.
Oh, it sounds gruesome. I'd rather go to the Regal. They got a crime show. Good juicy murder.
Murder? Oh, I should have thought you'd had enough of that. After what's happened.
Oh, not me. They're what I like to see. You know, maybe I can pick up a point or two and help the coppers out trying to find that chap that polished off that girl.
Be careful, Dickie.
Hello? Oh, hello, Inspector. What can I do for you? You have? Well, that's a bit of good news. Oh, no trouble at all. Be glad to oblige. It'll take me an hour or so to get up there. Yes, I'll leave right away. See you, Inspector.
Who was that? The police again?
Yes, I'll go Inspector Lamb in person. Oh, sorry, the pictures are off for tonight.
Why? What's happened?
They need me for a little job of identification. They, got the bloke that disappeared with the keys.
Ooh. Well, you be careful what you say, Dickie. You never can tell what you're getting mixed up in.
Oh, I'll watch it, Ducks.
Another visit with Joe and Daphne Forsythe.
Joe?
Uh-huh.
Do you think we can afford a vacation this year?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. The car could stand some work. Then there's that chair we've been meaning to buy, and I guess we could always cash in a savings bond or two.
What?
I said we could cash in one of our bonds.
Joseph, don't you dare.
Oh, I was just suggesting.
Don't even think about it. Those bonds are our future. When they mature, we'll get back $4 for every 3.
Yeah, I know that.
They're guaranteed, too. 3 times over. Principal, interest, and replacement if lost or stolen. Well, the whole United States stands behind them.
Sure, Daphne,
Well, if we cash them in before they mature, we'll be giving up all that lovely interest. And what happens when we really need the money?
Daphne.
I don't see how you, who thought of buying a bond every payday in the first place, could suggest such a thing.
I guess maybe it was a moment of weakness.
Well, don't you ever bring it up again. Savings bonds are not only a good investment for us, but they help our country, too. Shame on you, Joe.
I'm ashamed. I'm covered with humiliation. I hate myself.
I should think so.
Okay, if I go back to reading my paper now?
Uh-huh. But, Joe, I was just wondering.
Yeah?
Do you really think we can afford a vacation this year?
Glad he can make it, Mr. Norman. I've got him in the next room.
Uh-huh. Oh, how'd you pick him up?
Circulated the description you gave us. Today we got a report of a man picked up on a fraud charge answering that description.
They always make a mistake, don't they? Now we'll have something more serious than a fraud charge to answer. Hey, Inspector?
Perhaps. First, you have to identify him, though.
Lead me to him.
This way. Mr. Norman, have you ever seen this man before?
Yeah, of course I have. How are you, mate?
I don't know you.
Oh, you having trouble with your memory, are you?
Not that I've noticed.
Oh, well, you must have. You're the chap come to the shop on Greek Street Tuesday last. I gave you the keys and met you Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, corner Shaftesbury Avenue.
I'm sorry you're mistaken. I wasn't anywhere near Greek Street on Tuesday. Shaftesbury Avenue either.
Oh, I don't blame you, mate. I'd say the same if I was you.
Inspector, I've never seen this man before. I wasn't there. I don't know what he's talking about.
Just like that, eh?
Look, mate, what about giving us the name of your dentist? That's a lovely job he's done with those fillings. Oh, lovely girl fillings. Don't you reckon, Inspector?
I wasn't there, I tell you. I've never seen this fella before in all my life.
Very interesting. What's that, sir? I'm afraid so, Superintendent. Reynolds' alibi stands up. Yes, Norman didn't have any hesitation about identifying him as the man who took the keys from him. But we've checked out Reynolds' alibi and it's watertight. Now, that seems to put him in the clear. Oh, yes, I realize that. Even if Reynolds didn't have anything to do with the girl's murder, there still could be a man with 2 gold inlaid teeth who took the keys from Norman. I'm not dismissing his story. And meanwhile, there's my VIP visitor waiting to see me, sir. Well, this could be very tricky. Oh, don't worry, sir. Don't worry. I'll be diplomacy personified. Yes, I'll be in touch. Sergeant, ask Mr. Collins to come in.
Right, sir.
In here, please, Mr. Collins. Diplomacy, the full treatment. Good evening, Mr. Collins. Won't you sit down, sir?
Thank you, Inspector.
You've something to tell us, sir, about the death of Doreen Hoskins.
Yes, it's been on my mind for days. From the moment I read about her death in the press and saw her picture.
Yes, sir.
You see, I knew her.
Oh.
It must seem strange that a man like myself should know that kind of girl. But it happens, Inspector. Men like myself, public figures, people think of us no doubt as having all of society to choose from when it comes to friends, but there are disadvantages, Inspector, about living in the spotlight.
Yes, I can imagine that, sir.
In my own case, it's not generally known, but my marriage is an unhappy one. A loveless marriage. It's not a joyous thing to live with.
No, sir.
My wife comes from a prominent family. A divorce in the circumstances would be something that could ruin my career. And any indiscretion with women belonging to our own circle, well, it would be dangerous. But a man gets lonely, Inspector. As, for instance, last Monday night.
The night before Doreen Hoskins was killed.
Yes, I'd been working rather late, you see. When I finished, I went out into the street, Piccadilly. But I couldn't go home. I was too depressed, lonely. So I walked through Piccadilly Circus, feeling utterly alone in all that crowd of people. The lights, people laughing, only made it worse. It was in Coventry Street that I saw her.
Doreen Hoskins?
Yes, I bumped against her in the crowd. She smiled. I smiled back. You could call it naive if you like, but it was like a sudden oasis of warmth in a world that was cold. I asked her to have dinner with me.
Go on, sir.
We went to a little place in Soho. She was an ordinary girl, but she was a human being. And you'll think I'm talking like a fool when I say it about that sort of girl, but I felt she was looking for something, too. That she needed warmth and friendship as much as I did. After dinner, we went back to the place where she lived. She made some coffee. It was a very pleasant interlude.
Yes. And did you see her again?
Yes, the next night. I deliberately walked the same way. I saw her near Leicester Square Station.
And what happened?
Nothing. I was about to go up to her and speak to her, but I didn't. I suppose I felt it shouldn't go any further.
Yes, I understand. What time was that?
About 9 o'clock. I never saw her again. I've come to tell you this in case somehow you might have found I'd been at her flat the night before. I wouldn't want that to become public knowledge.
Mr. Collins, later medical evidence has now revealed that the girl's death could have taken place much earlier than at first believed.
Earlier?
Yes. In fact, round about 10 o'clock on that Tuesday night. And as it now stands, you could be the last person positively to have seen Doreen Hoskins alive, Mr. Collins. Stokes, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Live at Woolwich?
I work in the dockyard.
That's where you met Doreen Hoskins, at Woolwich?
Yes, she was staying there. I met her in a dance.
When?
2, 3 weeks. Yes, 3 weeks ago last Saturday.
Didn't take you long to get engaged to her, did it?
Oh, no, sir. That happened the second day I knew her.
Really? You're a fast worker, aren't you?
Well, it wasn't that, sir. It was Doreen.
She what?
Well, she was the kind of girl who... Well, she needed someone. Well, straight she did. Needed someone bad to look after her. Anyway, that's what I thought at the time.
But you certainly didn't know her very well when you became engaged to her, did you, Stokes?
No, that was the trouble.
And how did you find out she wasn't the little innocent you took her for?
I didn't say she wasn't.
No, I'm saying it. Well, how did you find out?
The way she started talking about men. Then when I come up to London with her, up west, that is.
That was Saturday, right?
Saturday, yes. Well, she didn't want me around. She wanted to get rid of me. I knew why. didn't have to be detective at that.
And you quarreled?
Not right out, but...
And you broke off the engagement?
Well, sort of.
Sort of? What does that mean?
Look, I was in love with her, but... Well, if she was that kind of girl, what was I supposed to do about it?
Oh, that's a good question. What did you do? Kill her?
No, I didn't, so help me.
When did you see her last?
Saturday night. I left here Saturday night, went back to Woolwich. I've been up west again. Not till they brought me here to talk to you.
If you're lying about that, Stokes, we'll find out. You know that, don't you? Well?
All right. I did come up again. Twice more.
When?
Wednesday and Thursday, late afternoon. I went to where she lived.
Well?
But I didn't see her neither time. That's the truth. I hung round because I wanted to see if she had other men. But I didn't see her. Honest, I didn't. Coroner's inquest. I can hardly wait. Oh, it's going to be fun, Molly, old girl. Real fun.
Fun? Oh, Dickie, how can you talk about a thing like that? It's fun.
Well, won't it be? Standing up there in front of all that lot, telling my story, papers writing it up. Ah, smashing, I call it.
Dickie, a girl has been killed.
That's right. Foully murdered. And who did it, eh? You think they'll ever find out?
They might think it's you.
I reckon they're thinking it now.
Dickie.
Well, why not? Maybe I am the one. You think I'm the one, Mom?
I don't like you to talk like this. Makes me nervous. You might think it's funny, but I don't.
Calm down, Ducks. I was only fooling. I'm not the only one they suspect. There's Goldteeth, what took the keys. There's a little boyfriend. Maybe there's others, too. But here's the thing to think about. One of us did it. And he's got to be clever enough to get clean away with it. He got to outwit the police, the coroner's jury. The lot of them. Ah, yes, he'll be a clever man, the murderer. If he gets away with it, eh, Mom? A perfect murder. Hey, wouldn't it be something to know a man as clever as that? Eh, Mom?
Willful murder against some person unknown.
How do you feel about the verdict, Inspector?
Well, you've been a crime reporter long enough. You ought to know how I feel about it.
It was the only possible verdict on the evidence presented.
Yes, the only possible verdict.
And if you don't dig up any fresh evidence, that'll be the end of it. Another one for the files marked unsolved crime.
So that pleases you?
What shall I tell my readers? That police inquiries are still continuing?
Tell them what you like.
Pity they couldn't have handed someone over to you. But that wouldn't have helped much, would it? Not without evidence to make the charge stick. Tell me, how do you feel about the coroner's summing up? You know, telling the jury that they might disbelieve Norman's story about the gold-toothed character, but that didn't make him a murderer. Suggesting that the chain of circumstantial evidence wasn't strong enough.
Fletcher, why don't you go and don't get lost?
Ah, here comes the man himself, Mr. Dick Norman. Doesn't look very happy. I wonder what he's worried about.
Well, there's our memory expert. Hello. How are you?
Well, let's see. Do I know you?
Do you know me? Well, sure. Why?
Well, I'm not going to discuss my health with a perfect stranger.
Your health, huh?
Well, I suppose that reminds you of Medicare.
No.
Well, you mean you're not going to tell me how important Medicare is to my family? Or how vital it is for me to know just what it does?
No.
And you're not going to tell me to get that pamphlet called Dependent Medical Care Program?
No.
Well, that's a switch. What were you going to say?
How's your wife?
Compared to what?
Sit down, Mr. Norman.
Yes, very interesting, all this. Seeing the inside of a big newspaper office.
My name's Fletcher. Bill Fletcher.
Yes, I know. I saw it at the inquest. That's why I picked this paper.
You're talking about the Doreen Hopkins inquest?
That's right. 2 years ago. But I remember you all right. Listen, Mr. Fletcher. How would your newspaper like the inside story of that murder?
As you say, it's 2 years ago now. There's not much public interest.
Oh, but there would be if the story was good enough, wouldn't it? Like, if it came from the murderer himself? And your paper was the one to spring it exclusive? Look, I study the newspapers very carefully, Mr. Fletcher. I know the sort of thing that makes them sell. A thing like this, it'll be a big trial. It'll be sensational. All this time after it happened. Now people will talk about nothing else. Right, Mr. Fletcher?
Yes, you're right, Mr. Norman.
Of course I'm right. Everyone will be talking about it. Whole of London, whole country. All right, Mr. Fletcher. If a man came to you with a confession like that, exclusive, would your paper finance his defense?
That's a matter for the managing editor. But I think I could say, yes, it would.
All right. And cop this, Mr. Fletcher. I did it. I killed that girl.
Now, Mr. Norman, you've heard the prosecution read out a confession signed by you. And you've agreed that this is, in fact, your confession, haven't you?
That's right, was what I told them.
Was this confession true?
No. It was a pack of lies.
Then you didn't kill that girl?
No.
And the evidence you gave at the inquest was the truth?
That's right.
Mr. Norman, I want you to think carefully before you answer this question. Why did you confess to the murder if you did not, in fact, commit it?
Because I wanted to clear my name.
Clear your name?
That's right. You see, a while ago I was offered a job. A good job, but I didn't get it. Because they heard I'd been mixed up in that business over the girl, so I had to clear my name. And this was the only way to do it. Get in a big court like this, in front of everyone, for all the world to see. You get the picture?
Oh, yes. I get the picture, Mr. Norman. Well, congratulations, Mr. Norman. You can walk out of here a free man.
Oh, Tar. You did a good job for me. Real good.
There wasn't ever very much doubt what the verdict would be. You said your confession was all lies, and they couldn't prove otherwise. There was no new evidence against you, only your own false confession. So the judge had to order an acquittal.
You think I didn't know that? Oh, yes. You did a good job, all right. But I reckon I did a better one.
What do you mean by that?
What say I was, Gilly? What say I really did knock her off, like I said in the confession? I don't have a thing to worry about, do I?
Did you kill her?
What's it to you, Mr. Lawyer? I've been tried and acquitted. Man can't be tried a second time for the same crime. I know that I saw it in the movies. So I can talk about it all I like now. And no one can touch me for it. Right, Mr. Lawyer?
There was a Marine named Pelagic, whose bank account really was tragic. Then, on advice from a friend, he bought bonds as an end to his problems, which vanished like magic. Get the message? Of course you do. You already know that United States savings bonds are the easy, safe, and profitable way to save. This is just a reminder.
Hey, what are you looking at, Molly?
There's someone coming up the path.
So what?
I think... I didn't see him properly, but I think it's Inspector Lamb.
Oh. Oh, well, I'll handle it. Good evening, Inspector.
Good evening, Mr. Norman. May we come in?
Oh, I brought your sergeant with you, eh? Oh, yes, come in. Well, I didn't think I'd be seeing you again. You come to talk about old times. Oh, well, sit down, sit down. Molly, get the gentleman a drink.
This isn't a social call. I have a warrant for your arrest, Mr. Norman.
Dickie?
Oh, no, you know better than that, Inspector. That was 4 years ago. And 2 years since I was acquitted. Do I have to explain the law to you?
Richard Norman, I have here a warrant for your arrest for the willful murder of Emily Bowker. And I warn you that anything you say may be taken down and used in evidence.
Emily Bowker? Who's Emily Barker?
A woman of the same type as Doreen Hoskins. A few years older, but then you're a few years older too, aren't you, Mr. Norman?
Emily Barker. Hey, you interest me. Hey, go on, tell me more.
Emily Barker was murdered last night in her flat at Pimlico.
And I did it, eh? You want me to confess?
If you wish.
Why not? Yeah, sure, I did it, Inspector. Now I'll have it all over again, eh? The big court, the lot. And then I'll deny the confession like last time. Make fools of you all.
Dickie, stop it.
Got it. I can hardly wait.
Yes, Norman, we'll get started. Only it won't be quite like last time. Oh, the murder was the same, exactly the same. Emily Bowker was killed in precisely the same manner as was Doreen Hoskins. Your trademark, as you might say.
Trademark, eh? You think you can prove it?
I think we can. You see, this time you left something behind.
Left something? What do you mean?
Your wallet, Norman. Its contents contain complete identification.
No. No, I couldn't have. Not me. Only a fool of making that sort of mistake like that. No, not me.
But you are a fool, Norman. You got away with it once. I should have thought that it'd be enough for any man.
Now listen, you got
But you had to try it again, didn't you? You just couldn't see past your ego, could you?
The best laid plans so often go astray. And when they do, it's usually because of that strange factor, that fatal flaw we call the blind spot.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Hello, everybody. Now, America's Red Letter Desserts present...
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother.
Yes, it's the Aldrich Family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith and starring Ezra Stone as Henry with Jackie Kelk as Homer. And yes, it's the Jell-O Family, America's Red Letter Desserts.
Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O Family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O Family. That's Jell-O, yum, yum, yum. Jell-O puddings, yum, yum, yum. Jell-O tapioca puddings, yes, sirree.
And now for the Aldrich Family. It's late afternoon, and the scene opens in the Aldrich front hall.
Henry, I just spoke to Marilyn Patrick on the phone, and she wants to know if you're coming to her weekend skating party.
Sure I'm coming, Mary.
Well, she asked me to make up a list. Who are you going to take?
Just put a question mark down, temporarily.
You haven't asked anybody?
Oh, sure, I've asked. Anita Swanson.
Whose father owns the supermarket on Elm Street?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm putting her name down.
Oh, wait, Mary. There's just one fly in the ointment.
What's that?
Her father. He has to approve of whoever takes her. What are you doing?
Crossing her off.
Well, Mary, don't be so hasty. Mother!
I'm in the kitchen, Henry.
Excuse me, Mary.
If Anita doesn't work out, Henry, you can always ask some other girl.
Mary, every girl has a father.
What is it, Henry?
Mother, would you mind if I asked you a frank question?
How frank?
Very frank.
Are you sure it isn't something you'd rather ask your father?
Mother, I think you're right. I'll ask him. Father!
What is it?
Are you in the den?
Not anymore.
Well, Father, I'd like to ask you something.
I think I'd better leave.
What is it you want, Henry?
Can I ask you a frank question?
Well...
A very frank question.
Well, just wait until I light my pipe.
You won't need your pipe, Father. It's not that frank.
Oh. What is it?
Father, you've known me a good many years over the years, haven't you?
I have.
Suppose you just forget I'm your son.
I'm willing.
Yeah, huh? Now, what would you say, just looking at me, What's your general impression of me?
Well...
Be frank.
You really want a frank opinion?
How frank?
Very frank.
Father, maybe my question was too general. Let me put it this way. Do you consider me reliable?
Henry, over the years, and forgetting you're my son, let me put it this way. There have always been certain things I could rely on you for.
Gee, Father, thanks. And would you be willing to tell that to Mr. Swanson?
Who?
Mr. Swanson, who owns the supermarket.
Oh, yes, the one that has that very pretty daughter?
Yeah, she's super, too. Yeah, come to think of it, he does have a daughter.
Yeah.
So would you?
Henry, I don't think a recommendation from your father would carry much weight.
No? Well, how about a recommendation from Miss Eggleston?
Your English teacher?
No, you're right. That would be too much weight.
Henry, are you home?
I'll be right there, Homer. Thanks anyway, Father.
I think it's something you have to work out for yourself.
I guess so. Hi, Homer.
Henry, have you spoken to Anita's father yet?
No, I'm just sort of making plans to.
Well, listen, I just found out something interesting that might interest you.
What?
Mr. Swanson has a job open in his supermarket.
He has?
Don't you think that's interesting?
You mean I should take the job?
Henry, I think you've hit on a wonderful idea.
Now, wait a minute.
Don't you see, once you're a fellow co-worker of Mr. Swanson's, how can he refuse you?
Would you mind telling me why you're so interested?
Well, Geraldine told me her father said she could go with me only if Anita's father lets her go with you.
What?
So, Henry, don't you see, you'll really be making an impression for both of us.
Alice, have you seen that old briefcase of mine anywhere?
No. And, Sam, I'm just wondering if you should have let Henry go down and apply for that job.
Now, Alice, he had his heart set on it. What could I say?
Well, if he was so anxious to work, why couldn't you give him a job in your office?
That's exactly what I offered to do.
What did he say?
Unless I gave Mr. Swanson a job, too, it wouldn't do him any good.
I don't understand.
Who does? I could have sworn I put that briefcase right here by my desk.
I thought you discarded that old briefcase.
I did, but the handle on my new one broke, and I'm using the old one meanwhile. Have you seen it?
Well, it must be around somewhere.
I should hope so. I've got some very important papers in it that I need for this afternoon.
Sam, do you think Henry was dressed warmly enough?
Alice, forget Henry for a minute, and let's find that briefcase.
See, Henry, there's the sign. Help one.
Yeah, how do I look, Homer?
Fine. What have you got in that briefcase?
Nothing. It's just for the interview, Homer, to give me a businesslike air.
Oh.
It's an old one of my father's. Come on, let's go in and see Mr. Swanson.
Here he is, right at the checkout counter.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Swanson.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I came in about the job you have in the window.
Oh, 1 second. Charlie, take over here, will you?
Okay, Mr. Swanson.
Now, just step over here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You want a job, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, wait a minute. Are you both applying for this job?
Oh, no, not me.
What are you doing here?
Why, I'm just doing a little shopping. Shopping? How much are these cookies?
23 cents.
For how many boxes?
1.
Well, I'll just be shopping around.
What's your name, son?
Henry Aldrich.
Mm-hmm. You ever worked before?
Oh, sure. Quite a few places.
What was your last place of employment?
That was for quite a prominent attorney.
What's his name?
Does his name matter?
Of course.
Oh. It was, a Mr. Samuel Aldrich.
Oh, a relative.
In a way.
Where else did you work?
Well, odd jobs. I've done quite a few odd jobs.
Who for?
Who for? Well, mostly, do you know a Mrs. Aldrich up on Elm Street?
Another relative.
Yeah, sort of.
Mm-hmm. Well, son, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a trial.
You will? Oh, boy, thanks, Mr. Swanson. Thanks a lot.
Now, put your briefcase down and slip on this apron.
Yes, sir.
Now, as an employee of Swanson's Market, I want you to keep 2 things in mind. First and foremost, there's our motto, Swanson Self-Service, Sell Service.
Yes, sir. Swanson Swells... Gee, that's a swell motto.
Yes, sir. Tells the story.
Person who thought that up certainly was clever. I suppose that was you, huh, Mr. Mr. Swanson?
No, Mrs. Swanson.
Ah.
Now, secondly, you see that sign?
Think?
Now, it may not sound like much, but just think about it.
Now?
What?
You want me to think about it now?
All the time. You keep thinking, and you'll avoid costly mistakes and accidents.
Think. That's pretty good. I'm going to write that down, T.
That isn't necessary.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Swanson, I couldn't stop thinking if I tried. Yes, sir. No matter what else I'm thinking about, I'm always thinking. Yes, sirree.
All right, now suppose you unpack these cartons of canned tomatoes.
Yes, sir.
Just stack them right there on the top shelf.
Yes, sir.
Henry, you're working.
Yeah, he's giving me a 1 day's free trial.
Boy, that's swell. I knew you could do it. Well, so long.
Oh, wait a minute, Homer. Hand me these cans and help.
What?
Don't you feel Geraldine is worth stacking for?
Well, okay, when you put it that way. Here. Henry, I think you're stacking them too high.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. It's teetering.
Looks perfectly straight to me.
Back up a little and you'll see.
It still looks okay.
Back up a little further.
Looks straight.
Further.
Straight.
Further. Henry, look out! Oh, boy.
Well, what happened?
You backed right into that stack of beer cans. And here comes Mr. Swanson.
Oh, boy.
So long, Hen.
Homer, you mean you're going to leave me to face the music alone?
Henry, from the look on Mr. Swanson's face, I don't think there's going to be much music. I'll just be shopping around.
But, Homer, you...
What is it? What happened?
Why, it's nothing that can't be straightened out, Mr. Swanson. And it's a good thing that beer comes in cans.
Yes, and it's too bad that ketchup doesn't.
Ketchup where? Oh, boy. Well, that'll come off the walls pretty easily, don't you think? Think? Don't you?
Suppose you take off that apron.
You mean I'm fired?
Have you got a driver's license?
Yes, sir, but...
I'd like you to take some deliveries out on the truck.
On the truck? Say, that would be swell. Only shouldn't I clean up the ketchup first?
No, I think you'll be a lot safer on the outside. Here are the keys.
Mr. Swanson, have we got a Henry Aldrich here?
We certainly have. What is it?
He's wanted on the phone.
I am? Gee whiz, who would be calling me here?
Go ahead and answer it.
Henry, while you're on the phone, I'll be taking the orders
Homer,
out.
I thought you were gone.
You thought I'd leave you in a spot like that? Where are the keys to the truck?
Are you going to take this call, Aldrich?
Yes, sir. Okay, Homer, you be loading the truck.
Right there on the counter.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello, Henry. This is your father.
Hello, Father.
How's everything going?
Why, it's going, Father.
Good. Henry, I don't suppose you know anything about it, but frankly, I've looked everywhere and I'm desperate. You didn't see that old briefcase of mine anywhere, did you?
Well, do you need it?
Yes, there's some papers in it that I've got to have for a very important conference over in Abbott City this afternoon. Have you seen it?
As a matter of fact, Father, I know just where I can lay my hands on it, and suppose I bring it down to your office.
Fine, and the sooner the better, Henry.
Yes, Father. Goodbye.
Okay, Aldrich, suppose you get started on those orders.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Swanson, would you reach under the counter and hand me that briefcase, please?
There's no briefcase back here.
What? Oh, boy, but I put it right behind there with my coat.
Well, it's not here. Now get started.
But that briefcase
Now, look, son, do you want to work or just talk?
But you see...
Maybe I better put that sign back in the window.
Oh, I'm going, Mr. Swanson. I'm going. Gee, I could swear I put that briefcase right here next to the coffee grinder. Well, I'm going, Mr. Swanson. Now, Homer, have you got that straight?
Sure, Hen. While you're making this delivery, I'll go back to the store and see if I can find the briefcase.
And remember, don't let Mr. Swanson catch sight of the truck.
Don't worry, I won't. And I'll come right back here and pick you up. So long.
Hello. Good morning. Swanson Self-Service sells service. I'm from Swanson's.
Oh, come right in. Just bring it right into the kitchen, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Set it right down on this chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, just a minute. Are you sure this is my order?
It's got your name on it.
Yes, but I didn't order this briefcase.
What? Oh, boy, I've been looking all over for that. Well, goodbye.
Well, look, before you leave, I wonder if I could ask a favor of you.
Oh, gee, sure. Swanson Self-Service sells service, you know.
No, I didn't know.
It's our motto.
Oh. Well, do you see that home freezer over by the sink?
Yes, ma'am.
It was just delivered this morning, and I had the men put it next to my stove. Now I realize I can't get the oven door open.
Huh. Is that right?
Would it be too much trouble if I asked you to move it over by the sink for me?
Nothing's too much for Sonson's self-service, which sells service. A new freezer, huh?
Isn't it lovely?
I guess it holds quite a bit, huh?
Oh, my goodness, yes. You can get a whole side of beef and over 200 pounds of fruit and vegetables in there.
Huh, is that right?
Yeah.
Boy, that's going to mean a big order for some store, isn't it?
I guess so.
Well, ma'am, I don't want to influence your decision, but wouldn't you prefer to buy it in a place like Swanson's where the employees keep thinking all day long?
As a matter of fact, I probably will buy it there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily expect you to tell Mr. Swanson I recommended you. That is, unless you really feel you want to.
Well, I'll be glad to tell him that.
You will? Mm-hmm. Oh, boy, if you do that, Mrs. Billings, there's no question who I'll be ice skating with next weekend.
I beg your pardon?
Over by the sink, huh?
Yeah.
I'll have it over there in a jiffy.
Is it very heavy?
Gee whiz, no.
You're sure you don't mind?
Glad to do it. How's that?
I think it almost moved that time.
I just need more leverage.
Yeah.
There. I'm getting it now.
Oh, wait a minute. I think you better...
That's okay. Did you turn the lights off?
Don't you see what you did? You pulled the cord right out of the freezer.
Oh, boy. Guess I forgot to disconnect the plug.
Oh, now you've probably short-circuited the whole house.
Wait, isn't there something they do with a penny?
Not these days. Now, just don't stand there, Sonny. Do something.
Oh, mister, you in the truck there.
Uh-huh. Yes, Sonny?
You haven't seen a couple of dozen oranges laying around in the street, have you?
No.
Gee whiz, they dropped off my truck somewhere around here. Well, thanks.
Oh, Sonny, just a second.
Yeah?
Would you mind giving me a push? I think my battery's gone.
Well, I'd like to, but I couldn't find the briefcase, and now on top of that I've lost the oranges, and he's probably wondering what's keeping me.
It'll only take a second, and I was supposed to deliver those chickens a half an hour ago.
Chickens?
Yeah, on my truck. Just take a second.
Okay, I'll back up behind your truck.
Yeah. No, wait till I get in now. Just keep her rolling till I wave and then cut away.
Okay.
Let her go. Yeah, keep going. No, wait, hold it.
What?
Hold it! My brakes are starting to... Hold it! No. Oh, no.
What happened?
Look.
Oh, boy.
Look at my chickens. They're all over the place.
Never mind the chickens. Whose bumper is that laying on the ground?
If you think Henry and Homer have problems, just listen to what Willie Marshall has to say.
Problems. I'll say I got problems. My folks go out nights, I have to stay home as babysitter for my younger brother Gulliver. When my folks have people in nights, I have to entertain them playing Hearts and Flowers on the piano. Gee, it gets so a guy can't even enjoy his dinner.
Oh, cheer up, Willie. Just ask your mother to have Jell-O for dessert, and you'll feel swell, whatever happens. And say, have you folks heard about the new quick-setting way to make Jell-O? You know, you get beautiful finished Jell-O desserts in just about 1 hour. Now, all you do is dissolve the Jell-O in 1 cup of hot water. Then add 1 cup of ice cubes or crushed ice, filling the cup to the brim with water. Stir until the ice melts thoroughly, then chill firm in the refrigerator. And in just about 1 short hour, there's a beautiful Jell-O dessert all ready to serve. Try a Jell-O treat this new quick-setting way tomorrow. And remember, it's Jell-O for red-letter desserts. And now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. It's later the same day, and the scene opens in a phone booth somewhere in Centerville.
Hello? Is this Harrison's electric shop?
That's right.
Well, I'm the fellow who just bought some fuses there.
You who?
Speak up, son.
The fella from Swanson's Market.
Oh, you're the fellow who just bought some fuses. Well, what's wrong now?
Were those very good quality fuses?
Well, sure.
Well, I'll tell you, every time I put one in, it blows right out again.
Well, there's nothing wrong with those fuses. You still got a short somewhere. I told you should never have fooled around with those pennies in the fuse box.
That wasn't my idea.
It's illegal, too.
I know.
Besides, you can get terrible damage resulting from that.
Well, maybe you better come over and take a look at it yourself.
Well, I can't right now.
But gee whiz, I'm in a terrible spot. I don't want to lose a good customer, but on the other hand, what's Mr. Swanson going to say?
Who?
Mr. Swanson. Mr. Swanson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of his fellows was in here a while ago and bought some fuses.
Well, that was me.
That's all?
Well, can't you please come over?
Sorry, I won't be free for another hour at least. But I'll tell you what you can do meanwhile.
What?
You know where the fuse box is?
Of course.
Well, okay. Open it up, see?
Yeah.
Take out all the fuses.
Yeah.
Be sure you got your main switch off.
Yeah.
Then you can put your pennies in.
Yeah. What?
Now try to get over there as soon as I can. So long.
But wait, I also want to ask you if I left an old briefcase when I was down there. Hello? Hello?
Here, Chicky, Chicky. Nice Chicky, Chicky. Uncle Homer's not gonna hurt you, little Chicky. Chicky, won't you please come to Uncle Homer? Now listen, Chicky, come down off that roof or I'll wring your darn little neck.
But, operator, I've been calling Swanson's Supermarket for over an hour. How can it be busy that long?
I'm sorry, sir. The line is busy.
Operator, it's terribly important that I get in touch with them. Can't you do something?
Hello? Hello, are you still there? Mrs. Ferguson, please believe me. Your order went out of here 2 hours ago. I wish I knew. But here's what I'm doing. I've taken 2 of my regular men off the checkout counter, and they're making the orders up all over again. Yes, you should have your order within the hour.
Mr. Swanson.
Goodbye.
Mr. Swanson, are you going to check me out or aren't you?
All right, I'm coming. Hello, Swanson's. Your order will be there inside of an hour.
Mr. Swanson, Mrs. Jones is raising a fuss over at the meat counter. She says you promised to save her a chicken.
Did the butcher tell her our delivery was 3 hours late?
Yes, but Mrs. Jones... Mr. Swanson, look at that mob at the checkout counter. They're going crazy.
Oh, good grief. Let's get over there.
Let's get going.
All right, we'll take care of everybody. Just be patient. Now, let's see, Mrs. Meade. 2 cans of baked beans.
Excuse me, you Mr. Swanson?
You'll have to wait your turn in line.
Oh, I'm not shopping. I'm the electrician. Where's your fuse box?
Oh, listen, I can't be bothered with that now. All right, we're doing our best. The fuse box is in the cellar.
Okay.
Now, where was I, Mrs. Meade? Oh, yes, 2 cans of baked beans.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Swanson.
Excuse me, Mrs. Meade. Swanson's, your order will be there soon. Goodbye.
Wait, I'd like to order some milk, please.
Yes, ma'am. How many quarts?
Just 1, and would it be possible to have it delivered?
Yes, ma'am. Swanson's self-service sells...
Oh, come on, let's waiting.
Madam, where would you like that delivered?
Well, that all depends. In what part of the store is Henry Aldrich working now?
What's that?
Henry Aldrich. I'm his mother, and I know this is a lot of trouble for you, but I'd like the milk delivered to him. Hello?
I'm here.
And will you please tell him not to gulp the milk?
Yes, ma'am. And when I see him, I'm going to tell him a few other things. Goodbye. Now, let's see, Mrs. Meade. 2 cans of baked beans.
Mr. Swanson, that's the 3rd time you rang up those beans.
Huh? Oh.
Mr. Swanson, come quick.
What now?
There's been an accident.
What kind of an accident?
4 shopping wagons crashed at the corner of Oatmeal and Soap Flakes.
Oh, no.
And the place looks like it was hit by a blizzard.
Oh, Mr. Swanson.
You? Where have you been all this time?
Mr. Swanson, I can explain everything. You see...
Never mind the explanation. What did you do with all those orders?
Well, you see...
Henry Aldrich.
Oh, gee whiz.
What did you do with that briefcase?
Well, I can explain everything. You see...
Never mind him. What about those orders?
No, look here, sir.
Father.
Will you keep out of this? This boy works for me.
Mr.
Yes,
Swanson.
well, it so happens that he's my son.
Father.
Oh, he's your son, huh? Well, let me tell you something.
Wait a minute.
All right, you'll all be... What happened?
Who turned out the lights?
I'm not
not going to let him add my bill in the dog. What kind of
Now wait, everybody. Stand still. Please don't move around in the dock. You're knocking the merchandise over.
Is that you, Mary?
No, it's me, Mother. Is Father here?
No, dear. And what are you doing home from the store at this hour?
I'll tell you. The store closed a little early today.
Really? Why?
For repairs. And I think they'll be closed tomorrow, too. But when they reopen next week, you ought to get down there.
What for?
Mr. Swanson's going to give stuff away.
Free?
Practically. For every item you buy, you can have 2 of them just by paying another penny.
Well, what's he doing that for?
He said it's the only way he hopes to get back the public's goodwill. Has Father called at all?
Yes, he said he was going to drive over to Abbott City. And, Henry, I think it was very careless of you to misplace his briefcase.
I know it was, Mother, but the first thing tomorrow, I'm going over my entire route and try to turn it up.
Well, that's funny. That sounds like your father driving into the garage now.
Oh, boy. Mother, I'm going up to my room for a while, and if you don't have to mention that to Father, if it's all the same with you.
Well, now, Henry...
And if Homer calls, I'll take it on the upstairs phone.
You're not coming down at all?
Not for a few days. And incidentally, if anyone in the Swanson family calls me, I'm going away for the duration.
Oh, dear. Oh, good evening, Sam. My, that was a quick trip to Abbott City.
I didn't go to Abbott City.
Well, I thought you said you were.
I started, Alice. I just didn't get there.
Well, what happened? I'll take your coat.
Thank you. Well, as I was driving along Main Street...
Yes?
You won't believe this.
Won't believe what?
As I was driving along Main Street... No, it's too ridiculous.
Sam, for heaven's sake, tell me what happened as you were driving along Main Street.
Well, a chicken blew in my window and laid an egg in my lap.
It's unbelievable. What's a chicken doing on Main Street?
Anyway, I hit another car.
My goodness.
Oh, nothing serious, but I decided against driving any farther. I'll get that. They're probably calling from Abbott City to find out what happened to me.
Oh, I'll get the door.
Hello? Speaking. No, I didn't forget. I had an accident on the way over there. Well, as I was driving along Main Street, it's really nothing that would interest you. You want to meet tomorrow instead? Well, the only trouble is that my briefcase containing the papers has gone astray, and I don't know if...
Wait.
Just a minute. What is it, Alice?
Look what some woman just brought over. She said Henry left it at her house this morning.
My briefcase. Let me have it.
Sam, don't bend it. It'll break.
What happened to it?
It seems it's been at her freezer all day.
For heaven's sakes. Hello. Look, I've just found my briefcase. How about meeting the day after tomorrow? Well, I don't know about tomorrow. It may not be defrosted by then. I'll explain when I see you. Goodbye.
Anybody home?
Is that you, Homer?
Yes, Mrs. Aldrich.
I'm afraid you can't see Henry now.
Oh, this isn't a social call. Mr. Aldrich, I need some legal advice.
Yes, what kind?
2 kinds. In the first place, if a store sells you iron glue, but it doesn't glue iron, can I sue them?
What did you try to glue with it?
A bumper.
Well, Homer, don't you think that's a little ridiculous?
It is?
Sam, that briefcase is beginning to drip.
Oh? I wonder if we better put it in the refrigerator.
You're going to put a briefcase in the refrigerator?
Yes, why?
And trying to glue a bumper is ridiculous?
What's your other problem, Homer?
Oh, yeah. Well, if I'm nice enough to give another fella a push, and then I'm nice enough to help him chase his chickens, can he sue me?
What's that?
I'm not making myself clear?
No. Alice, can we eat soon?
Oh, of course, dear. Would you like some nice vegetable cutlets?
Vegetable cutlets?
The Swansons didn't deliver my order either.
But vegetable cutlets?
Mrs. Aldrich.
Yes, Homer?
Could I interest you in some nice chickens?
Chickens?
Yes, ma'am. I've got them right outside on the porch. And the beautiful part of it is, they're half plucked.
Boy, Homer, we certainly went about getting a girl for that skating party the hard way.
Boy, Henry, I'll say.
When all we actually have to do is go to the telephone and call someone just like that.
Sure,
So
Henry.
we call, Homer. Come on, pal, think.
Think. Listen, Henry, after what we've been through with that word today, let's just relax and let second nature take its course.
You mean good old Gladys and Agnes?
Sure.
Sure, that's a happy ending for our boys, just the way Jell-O is always a happy ending for any meal. Because everybody goes for gay, colorful Jell-O in any of those 6 delicious flavors: strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. All 6 have delectable fruit-rich goodness, wonderful fresh-tasting flavor that reminds you of the ripe, juicy fruit. And there are dozens of glamorous ways to fix Jell-O. Have it riced or cut into sparkling cubes, served with any favorite fruit. Just look for the big red letters on the box, 'cause it's Jell-O for red letter desserts.
Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's
Jell-O, yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings, yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O tapioca puddings, yes, sirree.
As I look into the mirror while shaving, I see a face peering over my shoulder.
You like the face?
Oh, I do indeed. It's the face of an angel. The angel on my shoulder. It's a lovely face and a happy one.
It's a happy face because I've just had the happiest Christmas. And why not? America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers.
And now, Angel, would you remove your face from my shoulder so I don't cut my nose off?
America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers. From Hollywood, International Silver Company, creators of 1847 Rogers Brothers silver plate, presents The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring America's favorite young couple, Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard. It's a pleasant sight, looking down Rogers Road in the winter twilight. Christmas tree lights gleaming in the windows, families coming home from church. That comfortable white house with the wood smoke spiraling up from the chimney, that's where the Nelsons live. In the living room, lighted only by the glow of the fire and the lights of the tree by the window, Ozzie is stretched out comfortably on the couch, and Harriet and the boys are down on the floor putting together a jigsaw puzzle.
Does this curved piece go in there? Yeah, that's it. Move over. Let me try this one. That doesn't go there.
Well, let him try it, David.
There, you see? That works. See, there are the 3 wise men, and that's the Star of Bethlehem. That's swell. Now it's still in the sky.
How about that black piece over there with the stars on it?
Oh, you better come closer, dear. That's a domino. Here's a piece that fits. I got one. And there's the last piece. Gee, that makes a neat picture. Isn't that pretty? The wise men carrying their gifts to Bethlehem on the first Christmas. We had the same thing in our Christmas play at school last week. Oh, that's right. How was the Christmas play, David? Well, I was sensational. Oh, really? Were you sensational too, Ricky? No, I was a camel. See, I was a wise man and Ricky was my camel. Mildred Carter said I was the cutest wise man she ever saw. Oh, she did? So I bought her some ice cream and some candy afterward. I spent all my allowance.
I'm afraid you're cuter than you are wise, David.
I'm thirsty.
Then go get a drink of water.
I'm not supposed to. David says camels only drink once a week. Well, I'm sure you've had time to get out of character by now. How do you like the slippers I gave you, Pop?
Oh, they're fine, David. Nice and comfortable.
Why do you have the rubber bands around them, Pop?
Well, I put those on there so they won't fall off when I walk.
Gee, are they too big?
Oh, no. I like my slippers nice and roomy. They're a lot more comfortable that way. And it's handy, too. I can carry things in my toes.
The man at the store wanted to know what size, and I didn't know. I just told him you had big feet. How do you like the ones I I gave you, Mom. Oh, they're beautiful, Ricky. Is your heel supposed to stick out over the back that way? Oh, I think they're making slippers that way now. They're putting the heel much closer to the toe than they used to. As a matter of fact, I think you boys showed very good judgment in choosing your gifts. Daddy and I are very proud of you.
Now, I thought it was a wonderful Christmas all the way around. None of the cards came off the packages. Only one bulb is burned out on the tree. The tie Grandma Hilliard gave me matches perfectly with the wallpaper in the dining room. Yes, sir, it was a nice Christmas.
Mom, when the three wise men started to follow the star, how did they know it would lead them to the right place? Well, David, they'd been told that something like this would happen, and they believed it. It was their faith that guided them. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Mm-hmm, but things haven't changed much. People still have to have faith. He doesn't understand stuff like that, Mom. Sure I do.
What your mother means, Ricky, is that you believe in certain things. You believe what they teach you at Sunday school, and you believe in your mother and your father.
And Grandma Hilliard?
Mm-hmm.
And Grandma Nelson?
That's right.
And how come Grandma Nelson didn't send us a Christmas present this year?
Well, she didn't she?
Not yet, Pop. The package didn't come. You see, Pop, I believe she would, and she didn't. You know, it is strange, dear. In the past, your mother's always sent the things at least a week before Christmas.
Oh, it was probably held up in the mail. The post office is so rushed at this time of the year.
Maybe she forgot.
Oh, no, Ricky, you know she wouldn't do that.
What could have happened, Pa?
Oh, I don't know, David, but you can be sure that Grandma Nelson didn't forget you guys. This is the time for you to have the faith that your mother was just telling you about. You gotta believe in Grandma Nelson.
Yeah, but it's the day after Christmas already.
Well, you'd be amazed at the things that faith and real believing can accomplish. Let me tell you what happened one Christmas when I was a little boy.
Is this going to be a story, Pa?
Yes, it's a real true story.
Oh, boy, move over, David.
I was about your age, Ricky, and your Uncle Al was just a little younger than you are, David. In fact, we looked a lot like you two guys. On this particular Christmas back in Ridgefield Park, Uncle Al and I had each gotten a beautiful new flexible flyer sled. Oh, boy, were we happy. And then suddenly we realized there was no snow. It was just one of those years when it hadn't snowed for Christmas. Well, it was the afternoon of Christmas Day. Your Uncle Al and I came in the house pretty discouraged. Now, I remember my pop was sitting on the couch in the living room, well, just about the way I'm sitting here right now.
Hi, Pop.
Hello, Ozzie.
Hi, Pop.
Hello, Alfred.
What are you looking at?
Oh, it's a silly contraption somebody gave me for Christmas. It's supposed to be a weather forecasting barometer.
Hey, that's a swell thing. Does it work, Pop?
Oh, I don't think so, Alfred. It's just a little one. I don't imagine it's much good. You know, the real instruments they use at the Weather Bureau cost thousands of dollars.
Doesn't it work at all?
Oh, it might predict something simple like rain or fair and warmer, but that's about all. I think somebody gave it to me as a joke. Here, set it up on the mantel there, will you, Ozzie?
Pop, do you think it'll ever snow?
I don't know, son. This warm weather keeps up, we'll be into spring. Just possible we won't have any snow at all this year.
Gee, we'll never get to use our sled.
That's right, your sled. Of course, the weather can change very quickly. In fact, you never can tell what it's going to do. You've heard that expression, as changeable as the weather?
Anything the matter?
No, I was just telling the boys, Ethel, that the weather could change.
Golly, here we got new sleds for Christmas, and there's no snow anywhere. Hey, Pop, look at this thing here. What'd you call it?
Barometer? Why, what about it?
Yeah, look at it, Pop. The arrow's pointing right to snow.
I know, Alfred, but I wouldn't put too much faith in that. I told you before, I don't think that's very accurate.
But sometimes having faith and confidence can make things come true. You told us that yourself. Sure, lots of times.
Oh, of course, it's very possible that the barometer could be right.
Sure. If you have faith in the barometer and we have faith in you, then it'll snow, huh, Pop?
Well, I didn't say quite that, Alfred.
What do you think it'll be, Pop?
Now, wait a minute, boys. The only thing I said...
Will it snow tonight or tomorrow morning, Pop?
Well, I don't know. It might snow tonight and then again... Now, wait a minute, boys. I don't want you to get your hopes all up.
It's gonna snow.
No.
Keep having faith in Pop, Al.
Now, boys.
Let's go out and see if it started yet. Where do I get my earnings?
Now, wait a minute, boys. No, I didn't mean that faith in me would make it snow. Boys. How do you like that? They think that because they have faith in me that I can make it snow.
George, if it's going to snow, you better go outside and put up the storm doors. Alfred, if you and Ozzie don't stop pushing your faces against that window, you're going to have flat noses. Well, when do you think it's going to snow, Mom? Well, it doesn't look too hopeful right now. The stars are out. Hey, look! Snow! Snow! Great big flake! trophy. Those are the ashes from the ash can. Is that you, Pop?
Hiya, boys.
How is it outside, Pop? When do you think it'll start?
Well, it seemed to turn quite a bit colder while I was walking up from Hackensack Road.
What do you have on your lips, dear? Hey, it's snow. There's snow on Pop's face.
No. That's just some shredded pecans. I had a sundae while I was downtown. It was.
You fellas better get ready for dinner. I'm going to put things on. Gee, isn't there any sign of snow at all, Pop?
Well, there are no signs of it, but of course that doesn't mean it can't snow. The signs can change.
Don't forget, Pop, you promised.
Now, look, fellas, I'm afraid you guys sort of jumped to conclusions. I didn't exactly promise it would snow tonight.
Oh, I know you didn't, Pop. You said if we had faith in you that it would snow tomorrow.
No, now, wait a
Boy,
minute.
I can hardly wait. Just think we'll go to sleep tonight, and when we wake up, there'll be snow as far as you can see. We'll take our sleds and go over to Strohmeyer's Hill. Come on, Ozzie. Let's get ready for dinner so we can eat fast and go to bed and go to sleep. So it'll be tomorrow morning quicker. Come on. Pop,
Yes, Ozzie.
it is going to snow, isn't it?
Yes, son. It's going to snow.
Gee, thanks, Pop. You're taking a pretty big chance, George.
What else could I say? Little guy looking up at me with that complete faith. That absolute confidence that if I want it to snow, it'll snow. How could I refuse?
But, George, it's a beautiful, clear night. Not a cloud in the sky.
Well, I know, but it could change. You know something, Ethel? I think it is going to snow tonight.
Did you notice how much Ozzie's father sounded like Ozzie and how much his mother sounded like Harriet? And you know something else? I'll bet their table looked very much like the Nelsons, too. Sure. Both of them set with beautiful 1847 Rogers Brothers. Why, even as far back as 101 years ago, 1847 Rogers Brothers held the honored place on American tables. It was America's first silver plate that year, and during the century that has followed, 1847 has always been America's finest silver plate. Today, you can choose no more beautiful, no more exquisitely fashioned silverware than that which bears the famous year mark, 1847. Its lovely features are unexcelled. No other silver plate looks and feels so much like solid silver. In every way, 1847 Rogers Brothers answers your dream for the best for your table. So, if Santa Claus left you a check yesterday, why not put it toward bringing shining, unequaled beauty to your home? Why not see 1847 Rogers Brothers at your dealers tomorrow? 1847 Rogers Brothers, the finest silver plate in America. It's the night after Christmas, and in the living room of the Nelsons at 1847 Rogers Road, a story is in progress. A story from the life of another Nelson family. George and Ethel Nelson of Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, when it was little Ozzie and his brother Al. It's a mighty interesting story, too. All about how Ozzie's father promised the boys it would snow one Christmas night.
Tell us what happened, Pop. Did it snow?
Oh, wait till I get to that part of the story, David. The important thing is that your Uncle Al and I had absolute faith in our dad. He said it was going to snow that night, and we believed him.
But I'm still wondering, Pop, why didn't Grandma Nelson send us a Christmas present?
Remember, Rick, Daddy wanted you to have faith in Grandma Nelson, to believe that she hasn't forgotten. That's why he's telling the story.
Is it interesting, fellas? You want to hear the rest of it?
Oh, sure. You bet, boy. This is neat.
Well, your Uncle Al and I went to bed unusually early that night. We had our new flexible flyers right beside us, so we could go sleigh riding on that snow that our Pop had promised. I remember as we went to sleep, Mom and Pop were down in the kitchen. Mom was washing the dinner dishes, and Pop was drying them. There was a lot of soap in the dishwater that day.
There's no need to keep looking out the window, dear. There's nothing out there but the moon.
For a second, I thought I saw some clouds.
The only cloud around here, George, is the one on your brow. Don't you think it'd be a good idea if you went up and explained to the boys?
Oh, I can't do that, Ethel. They'd never have any confidence in me again.
All right, dear.
But if the lawn isn't white in the morning, your face is going to be awfully red.
I'm not so sure. Don't ever make the mistake of underestimating a small boy's face. Might be just the thing that works.
Well, I hope you're right, dear.
Another thing. Of course, I realize it's practically a toy, but this little barometer still says snow. If only there was some way of finding it. See, I have an idea. Why don't I phone the Weather Bureau and get the official word on it?
Well, yes, that sounds good.
I don't think I know the number offhand.
Number, please.
Hello, Central. I wonder if you could connect me with the Weather Bureau. I don't have the number.
Oh, sure. I'll look it up.
I'm sorry to put you all this trouble.
Oh, Ishkabibble. That's what I'm here for. How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Terry? Is she getting the number?
Yeah, she's very nice. She's giving me a little concert, too. Must be the Nora Bays of the telephone company.
Weather Bureau.
I'd like to get some weather information. Do you expect snow tonight?
Oh, yes, indeed. We expect snow about midnight in Portland, Oregon, Montreal, Canada, and Frozen Monkey, Montana. Hey, what happened? Somebody give you skis for Christmas, George?
George?
Sure. Isn't it George Nelson?
Well, yes, but...
Didn't you recognize your old bowling partner? This is Charlie Johnson. I'm just substituting for my brother-in-law.
Oh, how are you, Charlie? I was wondering who the Weisenheimer was.
Ah.
Then you don't think it's going to snow tomorrow? I've got a barometer here that says it is.
Well, I got 5 of them here that says it isn't, George. Yeah, not only that, I left my Arctics at home.
Look, I don't like to argue with scientific information, but what makes you so sure? Or is that giving away trade secrets?
Oh, no, George. I'll be glad to explain it. Now, if I get too technical, you stop me. Now, you see, up in the sky, there are a lot of little elves, and they're in charge of the weather. Mm-hmm. And right after each election, they gather in all the hot air that's left over. And then the hot air chases the cold air and usually catches it. Because you know how easy it is to catch cold. Especially at this time of the year. Well, sir, this causes rain. And then the little elves sit around and pop the rain. I bet you never realized before that snow is nothing more than pop rain. And now for an encore, I'll give you my imitation of Al Jolson. Mammy, oh, Mammy.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. Good night.
What'd they say, dear?
Nothing popping. That's not a sign of snow. I can imagine how the boys are going to feel in the morning when they wake up all excited and look out the window and see nothing but the bare ground.
I wouldn't fret about it, George. They'll get over it. What are you looking at?
This little barometer I got for Christmas. I wonder if this could possibly be right and the Weather Bureau wrong. This thing has been pointing at snow ever since I got it. Hello?
I walk 1,000,000 miles for one of your smiles, Mama. Good night, Georgie boy. Happy sleigh riding.
Boy, that Charlie Johnson. He sure takes the fur line fast, though. Poor old Pop. He was laughing, but he wasn't too happy. Here he'd promised his sons it would snow by morning, and his only hope was in our faith in him and a strange confidence he had developed in the little barometer.
Let's go to bed, George. It's getting late.
Did you see Ozzie and Al in there sleeping so peacefully, dreaming of snowdrifts and belly whopping down Stromeyer's Hill?
Oh, which reminds me, where are their sleds?
Well, Al put his in the closet, and Ozzie has his in bed with him. There's no question in their minds. Their old Pop promised them snow, and snow it's going to be. That's a wonderful fate.
I think I could have a little more of it if the moon weren't shining in the window.
Oh, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, Ethel. I think I'll put this barometer on the nightstand beside our bed where I can keep an eye on it. It's still pointing right to snow. Isn't that wonderful?
Why are you putting that window up, George? The other one's up.
When it starts to snow, I want to lie here in bed and watch the flakes come down. Reach my hand out and feel the cool, shimmering crystals. Did you know that snow is nothing but popped rain?
Good night, Pop.
Folks, it is snowing. Ethel!
I'm right here, George.
Isn't this wonderful? Look at it come down.
Boy, it's snowing like everything. How's it doing, Pop?
Oh, I can't tell you. It's a secret.
Come on, Ozzie, let's get the sled. The Weather Bureau called up 3 times. They want to buy your barometer. Charlie Johnson snowed in up there.
You'll probably have to leave town because the weather doesn't agree with him. I'm not the kind of person who says, I told you so, Ethel, but you didn't think this had happened, did you?
Oh, I must admit I didn't, George. I guess I underestimated the faith of 2 small boys and their fathers.
It just shows you what it can do. Of course, the funny thing is, I never would have known it was going to snow if it hadn't been for this little barometer. It's a wonderful instrument.
There's no doubt about that.
Let's take a look at it. It's pointing right to snow, and it's snowing like 60 out. Look at the needle.
Oh, I know it is. Not only that, it was pointing to snow yesterday, and it'll still be pointing to snow next 4th of July.
What are you talking about?
Have you tried to move it? The needle is fastened there. Look at the back of it. There's a little sign on it.
The north wind will blow, and we shall have snow. Now is the time to order your coal from the Brewster Coal and Fuel Company.
A swell story, Pop.
Well, it shows you what can be done if you have faith.
Oh, it was a wonderful story, dear. I hope you boys got the point of it. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Only one thing, though, Pop. You think Grandma Nelson forgot to send us a Christmas present?
I'll explain it to you again tomorrow, Ricky.
Come on, boys. You've had your story. It's time for bed.
Yeah, you run upstairs, you guys. I want to read the paper.
Are you sure you understood the point of the story, Ricky? Oh, sure. Okay, what was it? It was about snow. If your father says it's going to snow, then it's going to snow. Come on, boys. Okay, Mom. Hey, I got an idea. Let's ask Pop to make it snow tomorrow. Oh, Ricky, don't be a dope. We haven't got any sleds anyway. We could get them, maybe. What am I talking about? That's crazy. Hey, Pop. Oh, let Pop alone. He's trying to read the paper. Pop. You think there'll be snow around here tomorrow?
Now, run up to bed now, boys.
You think we could go sleigh riding?
Yes. Your mother's waiting for you. Now go on up to bed.
Come on, Ricky. Hey, David. There's going to be snow tomorrow. We can go sleigh riding. Pop said so.
Hey, you fellas are late for breakfast. Come on, let's get going.
Okay, Pop. Well, why the long faces? You look like a couple of sad sacks. Where's the snow you promised, Pop?
Well, I didn't promise any snow, Ricky. You're thinking of the story I told you last night.
Don't you remember, Pop? Ricky asked if we could go sleigh riding, and you said yes.
Well, I don't remember saying anything like that.
You said, it's the same thing.
Oh, well, if I did, I'm sorry, fellas. Come in, Barney.
Hiya, folks.
Hi, Barney.
Well, don't sit here wasting time. Get your heavy clothes on, boys. We're going sleigh riding.
What are you talking about?
Snow, Oz. Beautiful snow. Catherine's father just phoned us. There's 3 feet of snow up at the old Hatchapuku Mountain. We can be up there in 2 hours.
Oh, boy, snow. Can we go, Pop?
Well, of course. You don't think I'd promise snow and then not let you go sleigh riding, do you?
Oh, the only thing, though, dear, the boys don't have any sleds. Yeah, how about that? When Pop was a boy, he had sleds and no snow. And here we got snow and no sleds. I'll get it.
Let's see. David and Ricky Nelson. They live here?
Yes, they do.
I got a delivery here from Henderson. Oh, careful. It's pretty heavy.
Well, I'll be darned. What is it, Mom? Hey, Pop, look. Sleds. Oh, boy, sleds will fly from Grandma Nelson.
Well, isn't that wonderful? 2 sleds from Grandma Nelson.
Oh, there you are. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Happy New Year.
Same
to you.
Golly, how did Grandma Nelson know what we wanted?
See, I told you fellas to have a little faith in Grandma.
These are real neat, boys.
Well, hurry up and get ready, boys. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Thornberry. Thanks, Mr. Thornberry. Bye,
So long,
Tony.
Tony.
Boy, it sure is a wonderful thing to have faith in people, huh, Pop?
Yes, David, it sure is.
Come on, David, let's put on our Arctics. Arctics? What are they? I don't know. Pop used to wear them when he was a boy. Boy, that Ricky, he sure takes a fur-lined bathtub. Hey, Mom, did you know the snow is nothing but Pop's rain? Yes, I know, dear. Come on, boys. How you gonna keep them down on the farm?
Now, Grandma Nelson may cause everybody a few anxious moments, but neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night can keep her from coming through with a present.
My mother's like that, too, Mr. Smith. Well, I remember last year on our anniversary. The day came and not even a word arrived. But 2 days later, there was a big package. And believe me, it was worth waiting for.
Well, now, if I were to guess what was in the package, you know what I'd say, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do, and you'd be right. It was a set of 1847 Rogers Brothers. And hardly an hour passed before I had almost every woman on Rogers Road overlooking at it. Golly, when I saw that 1847, I could well understand what you mean when you say that it's owned and loved by more women than any other silver plate in the world.
Almost the first look at 1847 Rogers Brothers will tell you the why-for of that statement. The patterns alone make 1847 unusual. They're created with such skill and warmth. Adoration, First Love, Eternally Yours, and Remembrance are their names, and they're designed to fit every woman's individual taste and scheme of decoration. There's an amazing richness of detail in those beautiful 1847 patterns, too. The lovely ornaments are more deeply carved, more highly raised.
I think 1847 Rogers Brothers is wonderful silver plate, no matter how you look at it.
And that includes the price, too. 1847 prices haven't gone up since 1945. And that's amazing when you consider its beauty and craftsmanship, when you consider that 1847 Rogers Brothers is the finest silver plate in America. Oh, and by the way, if you folks would like to see a beautiful color picture of the entire Nelson family, get a copy of the current issue of Radio Mirror magazine.
Ozzie?
Yeah?
One thing is puzzling me. You didn't seem at all surprised when Thorny said there was a snowstorm up in the hills this morning.
Well, confidentially, I expected it.
You had sort of a hunch?
I probably shouldn't tell you this, giving away all my best secrets. But I read the weather forecast in the paper last night. Is that all that's puzzling you?
No, there's something else, too. This package arrived this afternoon with a little note to David and Ricky. Dear boys, I'm sorry to be late with your Christmas presents, but I'm afraid I'm slowing up a bit. I hope you like these sweaters I knitted for you. Merry Christmas from Grandma Nelson.
Well, isn't that strange that she should send the sleds and the sweaters?
Mm-hmm. What makes it even stranger is that she lives in New Jersey, and the sleds came from Henderson's department store here in town. They just happened to arrive at the opportune moment, and the card was written in your handwriting.
Next week to another adventure of Ozzie and Harriet, starring Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard.
And remember, America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers.
Yes, Harriet, America's finest silver plate is 1847 Rogers Brothers. And on behalf of our entire cast, and our sponsors, and Harriet and myself, we want to wish all of you folks listening in a very, very happy New Year.
Starting Sunday, January 2nd, the Horace Height program will follow Ozzie and Harriet over most of these stations. Appearing today in support of Ozzie and Harriet were John Brown, Janet Waldo, Tommy Bernard, Henry Blair, and Joe Kern. Original music was composed and conducted by Billy May. This program originates in the Hollywood studios of the National Broadcasting Company and is also broadcast over the Trans-Canada Network of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This adventure of Ozzie and Harriet will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Say, folks, how about getting the first good deed of the new year in a little early? You can do it right now by sending your check tonight to CARE. CARE packages are the most efficient, economical way to send food and clothing abroad, either to friends and relatives or needy families that the organization will choose for you. Start the new year right with $10 sent to CARE, New York. Send it tonight. The Canadian address of CARE is 193 Spark Street, Ottawa. This is Vern Smith speaking.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The MGM Theater of the Air. Our star this week, Charles Lawton. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Vice President of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and celebrated writer of many Broadway and Hollywood musical hits, Mr. Howard Dietz.
Thank you. The one-hour play we are presenting on the MGM Theater of the Air is The Canterville Ghost. Those of you who remember the story by Oscar Wilde or the successful MGM motion picture will know that you're in for a pretty good show. Our star this week is Charles Lawton, who starred in the original picture. In just a moment, the MGM Theater of the Air will present Charles Lawton in The Canterville Ghost. At the turn of the century, Oscar Wilde wrote The Canterville Ghost. It is a ghost story, but different from most ghost stories because of its humorous treatment. It is based on the conjecture, what would happen if unvarnished visiting Americans came into contact with the traditional inhabitant of an ancient British castle, the family ghost. Those of you who have been in England have probably heard much talk of these family ghosts, concealed somewhere in the great ancestral halls of the stately homes of England. The story has been moved up to 1943, and the visitors who come into contact with the Canterville Ghost are a platoon of American Rangers. In lightning and thunder and driving rain one evening, the 2nd Platoon, Company A, 1st Ranger Battalion, Army of the United States, arrives in truck convoy at their new billet, Canterville Castle. The butler, Potts, there's always a butler on the English scene, glances out of the oriel window and remarks,
Goodness gracious, they're coming. The guests.
Well, do something, Joseph. Go to the door.
Well, yes, of course, Mrs. Umney. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Canterville Castle.
Thank you. I'm Lieutenant Kane, American Rangers.
We've been expecting you, sir. Mrs. Umney and I have been cleaning up a trifle, sir.
Fine. Hey, this is quite a place. I'd no idea.
I've served several estates in my time, sir. None of them have the tradition of this one.
I see. And you are...
Potts, the butler, sir.
Uh-huh. Where are the sleeping quarters?
I thought the armory would be most convenient. It's the largest room, sir, next to the great hall, that is, and the hall is inclined to be a trifle drafty.
Oh, sounds excellent. Okay, Sergeant.
Yes, sir. Okay, everybody, pile out of those trucks. We're moving in.
Okay, here we go, Sarge. Welcome to Canterville, gentlemen.
Thanks.
How are you? Goodness, how many of you are there?
Just a platoon, mister.
Hey, all this room in just one room.
Hey, where do the trains come in? It's bigger than Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, how'd you know, Slap Happy? All you saw was the ceiling when they carried you out.
Hey, baby, look at this chair. Oh, pup tenser for the hoi polloi. Me for the luxuries of life. A pipe, brandy, my feet toasting on the fender. This is for me. Without it, I simply perish.
Take your big feet off of there, Cuffy Williams, or I'll perish you.
Heard you the first time, Sergeant.
I got a good rest tonight, men. You'll be needing it. Now, Mr. Potts, if you need me for anything, I'm staying at headquarters in the village.
Very good, Lieutenant.
And Benson, remember, this is not our property.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Sergeant.
Beg pardon, but shall I serve tea now, gentlemen?
Tea? What? Tea? Oh, you don't have to bother.
Oh, no bother at all, sir. Mrs. Umney thought after your journey you'd be a bit done in.
Well, I guess, all right, thanks.
Very well, sir. And, oh, yes. Lady Jessica would like to say good evening.
Who's that?
Lady Jessica?
Lady Jessica de Canterville. She's the owner of the castle.
Well, tell her to come in, I guess.
You guess. Potts, we'd be honored.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, what do you say to Dame What's a Lady?
Well, you won't have to kiss her hand.
Watch it, you goons. It's the old lady herself.
Lady Jessica de Canterville.
Good evening, gentlemen.
It's a midget.
No, you dope.
How about that?
It's a half pint.
A kid will blow me down.
Did you ever see it? A lady. Good evening, Lady Jessica. We're very happy to meet you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're very happy to meet you. Hi, lady.
I know you've all come a long way, and I want to tell you how glad I am you're here. I do hope you'll enjoy your stay at my castle.
Gosh, I thought a girl had to be married to be a lady.
Oh, dear, no. A lady is a lady when she behaves like one, my auntie says.
Your auntie's quite right.
Which of you are Indians?
Gentlemen, tea, sir.
Of course. Lady Jessica, will you pour, my lady?
I should be most happy to. More tea? More muffins,
No, I've had about 10 already. No, thanks.
Oh, no one wants any more muffins.
No, I like
What a shame. Mrs. Umney baked them specially for you.
Excuse me, miss. Who made that stain on the carpet?
That's not tea, sir.
Oh, well, did you ever try cleaning fluid on it, ma'am?
Oh, no, sir.
Well, then, we'll take it out for you. Trigger, get that cleaning fluid out of my duffel bag. It's in the Jeep.
Okay, Sarge.
But, sir, it's no use. Nothing will take it out. What made that spot, sir, was blood.
Blood?
Blood?
Oh, quite so, gentlemen. That is the blood of Lady Barbara Modish. She stabbed herself in the throat when she saw him.
Him? Who's him?
Sir Simon, our ghost.
Your ghost, did you say, my lady?
Yes. He's quite the most famous ghost in England. And he lives here, in this castle.
Wait a minute.
Well, you don't want me to tell you.
Yeah, but we do. Give the lady a chance, fellas. If she says the castle is haunted, it's her castle. Who are we to quibble?
It may sound silly to you, but Auntie told me. That spot won't come out, really. And I've seen the ghost myself.
No fooling.
Over there in the hall. That's the door to his bedchamber behind that tapestry. There's a big old padlock on it. Isn't there, Mrs. Umney?
Yes, he was walled up in there centuries ago.
Holy catfish.
Oh, yes, it's true. I read all about it in a big book Auntie has in the gatehouse. Sir Simon was a coward on the field of honor. And his father, who was a Canterville when Elizabeth was a queen, walled him up in an alcove of his bedchamber and cursed him. His father told Sir Simon he would have to walk the halls of the castle until some Canterville did a brave deed in Sir Simon's name. And he's been doing that ever since.
Every night, gentlemen, at the stroke of midnight, his guilty spirit comes out of that door, walks the halls looking for a kinsman, and then goes back again.
I shouldn't tell you this before bedtime, but the Dowager Duchess of Sutfield was found one night, stark, staring mad.
You don't say.
Yes, she was putting on her lavalier when she turned, and there was the ghost, coming after her with long green fingers and burning eyes. The bloodsucker of Bexley Moor.
A bloodsucker? You see, fellas, didn't I say it's her castle? Who are we to quibble?
What is your name, please?
Cuffy. Cuffy Williams.
Well, Cuffy Williams, I know very well you're laughing at me. But just you wait.
Excuse me, milady. Far be it for me to contradict you. But just you wait.
If it rained like this in California, we wouldn't believe it. Here's your cleaning fluid, Sarge.
Thanks, fella. Now, watch this, milady. Now, if this cleaning stuff will take lipstick off of ODs, it ought to do this. Well, Lady Jessica?
I guess it is out all right.
Holy suffering catfish. The stain. It's come back.
Oh.
Okay, I got it. Hey, smelly salt. Somebody do something. Mrs. Umney's fainted.
Take it easy now.
Well, Cuffy Williams?
One. Hey, Trigger, you awake?
No, I'm sleeping. Shut up and go to sleep, Harry.
Two. Hey, Cuffy. You awake, Cuffy?
No, I'm dreaming. Go to sleep, Harry.
The three. Cuffy. It's striking midnight.
So what?
Four. Cuffy, the ghost.
Nuts to ghosts.
And five.
Coffee, that blood stain, it came back.
The cleaning fluid didn't take, that's all.
It's 6. Coffee, please don't go to sleep, Coffee. It's a 7. Hey, Coffee, Trigger, don't leave me alone.
I wish you'd leave me alone.
8. Hey, Trigger, talk to me.
Now go chase yourself.
In the 9? Where? This place gives me the creeps.
Go talk to the Sarge, will you? I need my beauty sleep.
At the 10. I never let you down, Trigger. Coffee. 11.
For Pete's sake, turn it off. There's no such thing as ghosts.
At the 12. Coffee.
Oh, for the love of...
Coffee.
Trigger, you hear what I hear?
How can I help it?
That sounds like somebody dragging ash cans around.
No. It's changed. That's no ash can. Mama. Mama.
Where's my gun?
Shut up.
I am Red Reuben, strangler of babes and maidens. Each night I hang myself, thus.
Ma! Sarge!
I search for a kinsman or any of you.
Yeah, Grandpa, your shirt tail's hanging out.
Yeah!
Scram, dribble puss. Hey, put some oil on those chains. You want to scoot, you buzzard? You ain't got no kinsman here.
Ye scabrous poltroons of old, I say.
Look, Coffee, I got him.
The bullets went right through him. The wall's all chipped where he was standing.
You saw it, Sarge? Yeah. I saw it, but I don't believe it. Let's face it, Sarge. That was a real ghost.
Didn't I tell you? That blood spot, the kid? I told you all the time, didn't I, Trigger? And you shouldn't have hollered at him. That's no way to treat a ghost.
It chased him off, didn't it?
Yeah, but what if he comes back?
Oh, wait a minute. Fellas.
How do you suppose he feels this minute?
Insolent barbarians, vulgar colonial upstarts, put oil on thy chains and dribble on thy puss. O thou once mighty ghost, hast thou fallen so low? Granted, poor ghost, thou art not quite thine own self these last 80 years, but Grandpa, thy shirt tail is hanging out. And the hoots and the catcalls and the lower, baser sounds. Art thou porking up thy roll, Simon? Let us try. It's not bad, not at all bad. Might be a bit emotional, but it isn't bad. Hast thou lost thy ghastliness, Simon? Perish the thought. Thou art ghastly indeed. Vengeance! Take warning, ye invading rabble, ere Chanticleer hath cockle-doodled thrice. Murder shall have stalked abroad. Let us consider the wardrobe. Now there are so many costumes. In what guise, that is the question. Let me see. Gaunt Gibeon the pallid ape. Not tonight, old friend. Too delicate thou art for these hooligans. Martin the vampire monk. Better leave thee in reserve for the ladies, etc., etc., etc. Aha, what is this hanging here? Aha, of a certainty. Come from the closet, old friend, in this costume. Ignorant emigrant, revolutionary riffraff. In this garb have I affrighted the spawn of kings. Now, off with my head. Aha. 'Tis a long time since, ho-ho scum, as reckless Rupert, the headless earl, with my head tucked under me arm I come. Ha 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 ha! Dribble puss indeed. No one here. This is the armory. These are the hooligans' pallets, empty. It is possible that I frightened them to their deaths after all, perhaps with my head back on my shoulders. Ah, there's still no one here. Well, I'm a success after all. I have not lost my touch.
Boom!
It's white. It glares from monstrous gleaming eyes. It is a ghost. Away! Away! Away, ghost! Away, 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 away! Be gone! This is too much in mine own castle, beset by apparitions with glaring eyes and swaying noses down to where their bellies ought to be.
Alagaro, Rex, yay, team!
Away,
team,
away,
team!
away! Father, save me! Father! Father!
Okay, fellas, okay, that's it. Take off the gas mask, Sarge, and the sheet. We know you.
Yeah, even if that poor old ghost didn't.
Oh, I haven't had so much fun since Hector was a pup. Apparitions with glaring eyes and swaying noses down to where their bellies ought to be. Oh, my sanity.
You shouldn't have done it, fellas. Scaring a ghost just ain't right. He's the one supposed to do the scaring.
Oh, Harry gave him a taste of his own medicine. He was looking for a kinsman, was he? And did he find one?
Oh, my aching back. Mother, you didn't raise your boy to be a housemaid or a ranger either. Oh, hello there, lady.
Oh, it's you.
Who'd you think it was, m'lady?
Oh, no.
Wasn't the ghost you were scared of, was it?
Why, what if it were?
Yeah, but that's silly. The old boy called on us last night, and we chased him right up the chimney.
You did?
Yep, you think I'm kidding? We'll ask old foxy Grandpa himself. A-calling we will go, m'lady.
No. That won't be necessary.
Oh, yes, but it is. You don't have to be afraid of him. You only think you do. And if you pretend you're not scared, you won't be. Think nothing of it. Now, watch. We push the tapestry aside. We take hold of your old padlock. And... Oh, what do you know? Broke the doggone lock. Open, open sesame. Hey, Ghost, where you hiding?
The brick wall, Mr. Williams. Over there. That must be where his father walled him up.
Where the dark deed was done? Look at the bed, Jessica. And that old wardrobe. Hello.
Must you invade even my tomb? Is there no place that I can call sanctuary?
Well, now relax, Grandpa. Come on down from the top of that dusty old closet. There's someone here I want you to meet.
I have already met your colonial ruffians.
Hey, don't fade out on me.
Oh, very well. You seem harmless enough. I'll come down.
I just want you to meet Lady Jessica. My lady? Sir Simon, the ghost.
Milady.
How do you do?
Atta girl. Simon, she's been scared stiff of you all her life, and I just wanted to show her you wouldn't hurt a fly.
Sir, my record speaks for itself. An unbroken reign of terror for 300 years.
Well, record or no record, when the kid's around, you behave yourself.
That is absurd. I must rattle my chains and groan through keyholes. I must gibber from the oriel window on the first and third Wednesdays of every month. It is my solemn duty to walk these halls until a kinsman performs a brave deed in my behalf.
Well, you better find yourself another castle for the duration, brother.
Cuffy, he can't. He's the family ghost.
Americans, child, what can a people without ancestors know of ghosts?
Now, wait a minute. Don't tell me you haven't heard of the Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow? Or Red Grange, the Galloping Ghost?
Provincial stuff. Spirits with neither crest nor title.
Oh, we got titles, too. The King of Jazz, Count Basie, Duke Ellington.
You don't say so. Nobility in a democracy, balderdash.
But, Mr. Ghost, we've had democracy in England for 700 years.
I have never chosen to recognize it.
But you should, Sir Simon.
Look, they're back, my lady. Come on, lady. I got to get rid of that dust I've been sweeping.
Goodbye, Sir Simon. I think you're a very nice ghost.
Farewell, milady.
Cuffy.
Yeah?
I think you ought to tell your friends not to chase him up the chimney anymore. He's so old and Coffee.
What now?
Nothing. That is... What's that on your neck?
Well, that? Just my birthmark, that's all.
That's all?
Look, I gotta get moving, lady. I'll see you soon.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, it is you, milady.
Sir Simon, I just saw on Cuffy's neck the birthmark of the Cantervilles.
What?
Exactly like my father had.
Like mine?
Yes, just like yours.
Egad. And what if he be a Canterville?
But, Sir Simon, if he is a kinsman, and if he does a brave deed in your name, he can save you, can't he?
Rubbish. Just fancy, milady, I am here because I cannot find a kinsman.
Well, I heard Mr. Potts say that the Cantervilles always turned out to be cowards.
Cowards, gross flattery. Had they twice the courage, 'twould give them only half the name. Thy grandfather, would he mount a horse? Thy father, so fearful of water, he trembled in his bath.
Really, now? It's your family, too, Sir Simon. And anyway, Mr. Potts said you were the worst coward of the lot.
What, even the servants insult me now?
It's you who are being insulting, Sir Simon. I was trying to help you. But good day.
Please don't go, Lady Jessica. I am so tired. I really do not know what I am doing. I have not slept for 300 years. For 300 years I have not slept. And I am so very tired.
Poor, poor ghost. Have you no place you can sleep?
Far away beyond the pine woods there is a little garden. There the grass grows long and deep. There are the great white stars of the hemlock flower. There the nightingale sings all night long, and the yew tree spreads out its giant arms over the sleepers.
You mean the Garden of Death?
Sleep must be so beautiful, to lie in the soft brown earth with the grasses waving over one's head and listen to the silence. To have no yesterday and no tomorrow, to forget time, to be at peace. Is not that the end of every living thing but me?
I wish I could do a brave deed for you. But wait, Sir Simon. Cuffy can save you. I know it. It isn't true that all Cantervilles have to be cowards.
Nay, nay, it is in their blood and bones.
It isn't in my blood and bones, and it isn't in Cuffy's. Well, you can tell he's brave just by looking at him. I'll arrange for you to meet Cuffy again, tonight, in your lovely garden. And perhaps once he understands, perhaps you'll be able to go to sleep there after all. Sir Simon, where are you?
Here.
Good evening, Sir Simon. I brought him.
Hi, Sir Simon. What's cooking?
Cooking?
Yeah, what's the big mystery? The Sarge will have the bloodhounds after me if he finds out I'm not in the hay by 9.
Go on, Sir Simon, ask him.
Tell me, prithee, good sir, I am aware that few Americans know their own grandfathers, but dost thou by any miracle remember aught of thine ancestors?
Ancestors? My old man would never look into his. He said he was scared he might find one that ended up in the hot seat.
Hot seat? America and England have everything in common nowadays, except, of course, the language.
Sir Simon. Cuffy, think back. Please try to remember.
Well, we don't usually... No, wait. My Aunt Martha. She was wacky on the subject. She traced my mother's family tree once back to a guy named Marmaduke.
Marmaduke. Lady Jessica, that must be the same Marmaduke who fled to Salem after Cromwell scattered the chivalry of England to the four winds.
You knew him?
He was the son of my brother Anthony.
Hey, now, wait a minute. Take it easy. How do you know it was the same Marmaduke?
Sir Simon, show him your birthmark.
Observe, good sir.
Holy cats. The same as mine.
Now thine.
Have a gander.
Holy cats indeed. Yes. Thou art a kinsman.
That makes me...
His great grandnephew.
Yes, And thou canst free me from my earthly bonds.
By performing a great deed in his name.
Wilt wear my signet, kinsman? Thou hast the bluest blood in all broad England.
Me, a colonial ruffian? Okay, Uncle. It's a deal.
I shall be everlastingly grateful, nephew.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, come on, lady. I just got time to take you home. Thumbs up, Uncle. It's in the bag.
Good night. And bless you, Sir Simon.
O Father, grant me that he shall not be like the others.
Will our ghost's prayer be answered? You'll find out all about that in just a moment. Now, Act 2 of the MGM Theater of the Air, starring Charles Lawton in The Canterville Ghost. Well, the 2nd Platoon, Company A, 1st Ranger Battalion, Army of the United States, believed in ghosts. They had been amply convinced. Even Sergeant Benson was a believer. When it came to Lieutenant Kane, that was something else again.
I've never seen anything like that.
Hey,
before.
Cuffy,
Well, let's have a look
how
at
do you
it.
like
Check it
this?
up there, huh? A classified communication of sorts, no doubt.
Of sorts. Go on, read it.
Yeah,
it ain't tacked
what
on
is
a
it?
bulletin board for decoration.
Okay. Because of inefficiency of platoon during performance of duty, cause of which has not yet been satisfactorily explained, all weekend leaves are hereby canceled. Huh? John Kane, Lieutenant Infantry, Army of the United States. Memo. There is no such thing as a ghost, and military regulations make no provision for same.
What gets me is the Louis still thinks we were up all night crap shooting. If he'd only have seen the ghost.
It's all that ghost's fault. We could be on skirt patrol in London this minute.
Yeah. Skirmishing.
Now listen, fellas. Stop blaming him. After all, a ghost has got to rattle his chains and groan through keyholes.
Who says? Hey, listen to the man, will you? Who dreamed up the sheet and gas mask idea anyway? Why the sudden sympathy?
I have reason to believe I'm related to him. The long-lost Duke of Canterville. Me.
A duke yet?
Oh, get off,
Hey, look.
Huh?
It's the kid and that old battle axe housekeeper.
Mind your manners, Sergeant.
Oh, yeah? Your Grace? Don't mind him. He's ghost happy.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hiya, lady. How you feeling today?
Hello, Jessica.
Oh, Cuffy, all of you. Mrs. Pulverdine, that's my auntie. She said I might invite you to a party in the village this afternoon. It's a holiday at home dance, but there'll be refreshments.
Girls, too?
Oh, yes.
Girls, she said.
Yeah, what are they? I remember.
And you'll come?
Sure.
All right, Jessica, drive along now.
Get up. 4 o'clock, gentlemen. Don't forget.
Imagine a grown-up lady of 10 not knowing the latest dance.
But you're teaching me, Cuffy.
Yeah, round and round we go. How do you like being the belle of the ball?
I like it very much. But does it always make you so dizzy?
It makes most of them even dizzier. It's time you had a taste of that delicious punch. Come on along.
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Okay.
There he was, this old duffer, hanging himself by his ghostly rope. And would you believe it? The lieutenant thinks it's all applesauce.
I believe you saw the Canterville ghost, all right, but the day he'll run from a human being, that will never dawn.
Gas mask or no gas mask.
Now, look, I'm telling you, we... Hey, Duke.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Gentlemen,
Meet the Duke of Canterville himself.
The Duke of Canterville. I'm honored, Your Grace.
If it can be called an honor to meet a Canterville.
Oh, why not? What's so wrong about being a Canterville?
Well, since you're so well acquainted with the ghost, why not ask him?
Cuffy, please. Cuffy, will you dance with me again?
Sure, Jessica. Ask the ghost, huh? I think I'll do just that. Hey, you!
Who's there?
Me, Cuffy.
What a fright thou gavest me.
Hey, Uncle, I've been thinking. Come on now, get into focus. Materialize all the way, Uncle. It's only me.
Oh, excuse me, I forgot. It is such a problem to have to walk these nights.
Yeah, well, that's better. Now, look, see here, Uncle. If a Canterville could save you by doing a brave deed, how come you're still around after 300 years?
If you'll excuse me, I am overdue now. Pardon me, I must gibber at the oriel window.
Come on. Quit stalling. I'm willing to play ball with you, but if you're going to hold out on me...
Nay, kinsman. I was just trying to spare thee.
Spare me what? Spill it, Uncle.
Well, mayhap it is better if thine ancestors speak for themselves. Come with me this way.
Okay.
Through this door.
Oh!
Oh, dear me, how very thoughtless of me. Of course, for you, an open door is necessary.
Well, it's okay. This business of walking castle halls at midnight is a little new to me.
The portrait gallery of the Cantervilles.
Quite a collection. This must have been one room I missed when I was sweeping the other day.
Would thou couldst sweep away its history. Gaze upon them, our noble family. Gerald de Canterville, proud skipper of the frigate Canston. When she sank, he was the first to leave his ship. Sir Andrew de Canterville, he saw a grenadier lose a finger at Blenheim battle and swooned away. And the blessed twins, Lieutenant Paul rode the wrong way in the charge of the Light Brigade. Lieutenant Peter was 10 lengths ahead of him.
You mean they were all cowards?
All of them, aye. Of all the heroic families of England, mine had to be a brood of lily-livered titmice.
So that's why you held out on me. You thought if I found out, I'd be that way.
No, that never entered my mind.
So they all turned chicken on you. Well, it's all the same to me.
Aye, verily.
I don't care what the others did. This is Cuffy, see?
Oh, of certainty, verily it is.
Cowards, were they? Well, not Cuffy Williams, see? You just watch, Sir Simon de Canterville. Cuffy de Canterville will show you the first time they turn him loose on the Nazis.
Say, Trigger, when a guy goes into action for the first time, does he sort of, tighten up?
Brother, when the lead starts flying your way, your heart jumps right up into your gullet and strangles you.
Was it like that in North Africa?
Uh-huh.
Does that stop a guy from fighting?
No, not unless there's a bad streak in him a yard wide.
Hey, there's the lieutenant talking to the sergeant.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Yeah, what's the matter with the Duke of Canterville?
Now lay off that Duke of Canterville stuff.
Well, you brought it up, buddy.
And I'm bringing it down.
Okay, you don't have to get sore.
All right, men, we're moving. This is a raid. Joint operation with British commandos across the channel. Now start loading the trucks, battle equipment.
Holy cow!
All right, now, get rolling. Ammo boxes, weapons, and sidearms. Each man draw 5 grenades and 50 rounds per M1. Start rolling, you monkeys!
Throw that thing. Come on, get that case up here. All right, lift your hand over here. Come on, let's go.
Cuffy, you're going on a raid.
Now, look, I'm busy, kid.
Cuffy, if you're brave, you'll save Sir Simon.
Now, listen, kid. I made Uncle Simon tell me about the family. Now beat it, will you?
Oh, what a pity you had to find out just before you left. If you hadn't, you wouldn't have had it to worry you when you went into battle.
Now, look, it won't worry me, see?
And you told me yourself that if you don't think you're frightened, you won't.
Yeah, I know. Now lay off, will you, kid?
Oh, Cuffy. Goodbye, Cuffy. Oh, Cuffy.
Oh, I'm scared, huh? I'm not me all of a sudden. I'll show 'em who's scared. I'll show 'em.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. I hope you'll excuse me for hurrying, but oh, I've so much special to ask tonight. Please take care of Cuffy. Please do. Don't let him get hurt. And Uncle Simon, you know I told you about him. He's such a poor, funny old ghost. And he's so tired. Won't you please let Cuffy save him so he can go to sleep? I'll be such a good girl.
Ye skulking, cringing, misbegotten packet of peafowl, portraits in a family gallery, huh? Ye wretched poltroons who have tarnished Britain's brightest moments, not for long will I have you leering at me from your gilded picture frames with cynical mockery. Not for long, ye dribble pussies. As for thee, Captain Bertram, who hid trembling in a well at Waterloo, I spit in thine eye. Thee, fat Algernon, who posed for 2 years as a dowager to avoid fighting a duel, I spit in thine eye. Thee, Sir Percival, who went through the 30 Years' War without firing a shot, Holy cats on the washstand, my signet ring. That Cuffy left my signet behind, brave he may be, but without my token carried into battle. Hie thee hence, Sir Simon de Canterville. Hie thee across yon channel. Hie thee thyself into battle.
All right, men. This is the place. Now, remember, we blow the refinery at 2350. You've got to hold this point for the 8 minutes it takes us to get back in case the Jerrys come down this road from the coast and try to cut us off. Check?
I guess so. Yeah. Right.
All right. Sergeant, with me.
Hurry. Take cover. Over there. You set trigger, Cuffy?
Right.
Everything's copacetic.
Yeah. Okay, Sarge.
Okay, Duke. See you later, kids.
Yeah. This is the spot for a Chicago piano. Protection plus the widest range of fire.
You all set?
Uh-huh.
I'll keep an eye out from up above.
Won't be long now.
The ring, Cuffy, my signet ring. You forgot it.
We'll give it here.
Thank you, nephew.
Forget it. Well, go away, will you? Go on.
I merely thought that I could bolster you up if you were a bit squeamish.
I want to be squeamish. Now, quit checking up on me and scram.
As you will, as you will.
2351. What happened to those guys?
Dost thou think the enemy will come this way?
I thought I told you to beat it. There goes the refinery.
Does the enemy approach?
I don't know. No, wait a minute. Yeah, down the road. They're coming, Trigger. Motorcycle patrol, about 15 of them.
Come on down and help free Gwendolyn.
Right.
Keep a cool head, kinsman.
There. Down there, Trigger.
Yeah. We'll wait until we see the backs of their tonsils.
That's it, Trigger. That's it.
Gwendolyn just keeps chattering.
Trigger!
Fire, nephew, fire.
I can't touch the machine gun.
Nephew.
Let me at thy gun, Cuffy. Hey, what's the matter? You gone chicken? Out of my way, Duke.
Nephew.
We'll continue with the story of poor Sir Simon and the two young Cantervilles Cuffy and Lady Jessica in just a moment. Now, Act 3 of the MGM Theater of the Air, starring Charles Lawton in The Canterville Ghost. The Rangers came back to Canterville Castle. Mission accomplished. But Cuffy's mission was far from accomplished. In fact, as Lieutenant Kane addressed his men the morning of their return, Cuffy had a feeling his mission might never be completed.
Oh, dear. I'm tired.
Well, men, you should be feeling pretty good. 2 days rest in London, and the captain wants me to tell you that we are the best platoon in the whole outfit. But I'm not satisfied. So we'll take a little jaunt in the woods and iron out some of the mistakes we made on the raid. Right now.
All right, let's go. Come on, we got to go.
Hold in! Thanks! Hi!
Hey, Williams.
Yes, sir?
Williams, I've discussed your report with the colonel, and he feels we have no alternative but to transfer you back to your old outfit. Rules are rules. We wouldn't like to risk your life or others taking another chance.
Yes.
Good luck, Williams.
Nuts. The Duke of Canterville.
Cuffy! Oh, Cuffy! I've been expecting you for days. I couldn't sleep well last night. And... Cuffy, what happened?
You better run along home. I got to pack.
You're going away?
Yeah.
Oh, Cuffy!
That's right. Look at me. I'm a Canterville, all right. Just as cowardly as the rest of them.
Don't say that. You're not a coward. You're brave. I know it. I know it.
Okay, lady. Anything you say. You're a nice little kid. I'm sorry it had to turn out this way.
Cuffy!
Goodbye, my lady.
Uncle Simon, I thought I'd find you out here.
In the garden of death where I shall never sleep.
Oh, Uncle Simon, I started it all, telling him he was a Canterville. He's going away. His whole life now he'll be afraid.
Far away in the icy north there is a mountain of rock. Once every 1,000 years a bird flies by and brushes the mountain of rock with the tip of its wing. By the time the brush of the bird's wing, once every 1,000 years, shall have worn the mountain of rock away to nothing, but one day shall have passed in my miserable existence.
But, Uncle Simon, I'm talking about Cuffy. Don't you care anything about him?
Thou hadst no right to stir up hope in me after I had resigned myself to my fate. Thou shouldst have let me be.
Let you be? No wonder you're so poor and miserable. You're a mean, selfish old man. All you ever think about is yourself. You've no more idea of noblesse oblige than my pony. And I'm sorry I ever felt sorry for you at all.
Fool that I am, dolt, imbecile, I have no more right to walk these ancestral halls than... why did I hearken to the child? Why did I not heed my own true instinct?
Oh, you again? What are you raving about?
And I never thought to search the records first.
Come on, materialize. I see you.
Oh, yes, pardon, excuse me.
What records?
The Family Chronicle. Irony of ironies. Thou art not a Canterville. Thou hast never been a Canterville.
What? Come on, Uncle. What's the gag?
Look here in these pages. Look, there is the record of my birth. There is my brother Antony's. And see, there is no record of Marmaduke's whatsoever. There was a Marmaduke, but now that I bethink myself, he was not my brother's son, but his stepchild.
Stepchild? What about my birthmark?
Mere coincidence, an accident of birth. Give me back my signet, boy. The comedy of errors is over.
Sure. I'm glad to get rid of the cockeyed thing.
Naturally. I can well understand.
Oh, it's a fine time to find out.
Cuffy, Sir Simon. There's a parachute hanging from a tree. Cuffy, do you think a Nazi came down in it?
Could be. That's for me. Don't go away now.
Uncle, what happened to him?
Oh, I convinced him that he was no cursed Canterville.
You what?
I showed him the family chronicle, but first I took the precaution of tearing out the record of Marmaduke's birth.
Uncle Simon, you are the nicest ghost.
Well,
the nicest.
Well, noblesse oblige. It remains in the bones, I suppose, even after one has no bones.
But, Uncle, Cuffy still is a Canterville. And if he catches a Nazi or something, you'll be saved.
By the Lord Harry, yes.
All right, lady. Got my gun and a couple of grenades. Now, which way to that parachute?
It's this side of the stone bridge.
Yeah?
I'll show you. I know a short...
We'll take a jeep. Come on, let's go.
Saved, od gadzooks, so I may... Oh, hold. Kathy, Jessica, wait for Uncle!
A parachute mine, a blockbuster. Come on, let's go, lady. Once she starts ticking, we only got 22 seconds.
Nephew, hast encountered the enemy?
Sir Simon, the Rangers, where are they?
In the woods.
Well, listen, Simon, take Jessica back to the castle. Now, quick.
But, Cuffy, aren't you coming?
Look, the Rangers, they're right here in the woods. If this mine blows up, it'll kill every living thing within half a mile. Now, run.
But what are you going to do?
Hitch the jeep's chain to it and haul it away. Now, get going now. Run, both of you. And get into the cellar.
Well, hasten, child. Come.
Uncle Simon, wait. Cuffy's doing a brave deed.
Aye, so he is.
See, I told you he would. It's the bravest deed there ever was.
Bravo, kinsman! Bravo! Bravo!
Uncle Simon, what's the matter?
The ring, I took it back. He must wear the ring. The curse demands it. Hoist with my own petard.
Oh, don't stand there, Uncle. Give it back to him.
Excuse me, nephew. I mean, Cuffy.
No, go away. Don't bother me. I gotta hitch this chain.
Naught will go amiss if you'll but wear this ring. It brings good luck.
No, it's a hoodoo.
Cuffy, you must wear the ring. You must.
Jessica, I told you to get out.
But you have to wear it, Cuffy, to save Uncle Simon. You're a Canterville.
I'm a...
Cuffy, if you'll only wear the ring.
Save thy breath, child. Look at his quaking knees, his eyes that glaze, his hands that tremble. The very portrait of a Canterville.
No, Uncle, no! Cuffy, you were doing the brave deed, don't you see? You don't have to be afraid because you're a Canterville. You only think you do.
Oh, no, I can't. I tell you, I
Look,
can't.
Cuffy, I'm not afraid of the old mine. Look, Cuffy, look! I'll kick the old thing. And I don't care if it does go up. There.
But, Jessica!
I'm not afraid, see? Of anything because...
Jessica, darling. Look, milady, I've got it on. I've got the fool ring on. Now run for it, lady.
Oh, Cuffy.
Run fast. There, that does it now. Hop in the back, Simon. Let's go, Uncle. This one is a Lollapalooza. I'm gonna dump this mine into the ravine.
Yea, verily. All's well. With a hey, nonny, and a hey, nonny, and a hey, nonny. Whoops! With more care, a little,
no
nephew.
time for care, Uncle. The Rangers are up on that hill. Uncle, where are you?
In the rear, nephew, astride your mine. Such a spirited charger I've not ridden in 300 years. Nephew, the chain's slipping.
Oh, ye gods and little fishes.
Let it go, nephew, let it go.
No, I can't. The Rangers, you see them up there.
Oh, it's ticking. The Lollapalooza. 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nephew, what are you doing?
I locked the steering wheel. The Jeep will go over the cliff. Uncle! Uncle, here, behind this rock.
29, 30, 31.
What's this hooey? About 22 seconds.
I just stumped the cockeyed thing into the ravine.
Like St. George slaying the cockeyed dragon.
Oh, Guthrie. I knew you could do it. I knew it all the time.
And so did I from the moment I knew he was a Canterville.
Uncle Simon, Guthrie has done a brave deed. Why are you standing here?
Huh?
Yeah. Why aren't you out in that garden beyond the pine woods?
Yea, why not? Father, answer me, Father. Why am I still in mortal coils?
Maybe Marmaduke was a stepson after all.
Nay, that could not be. Father! Answer me! Answer me! Thank you, nephew. Thank you, niece. Farewell.
So long, Unc.
Farewell, Uncle. Farewell.
So there it is, lady, after all these years. He has his place and his monument in the garden. Sir Simon de Canterville, 1603, 1943. You know, that's a long time to go without any sleep.
Yes, but you nearly always have to wait for anything you want very much.
Yeah, I guess you do.
How old are you, Guthrie?
Me? Why?
I shall be 11 in May.
Charles Lawton will be back in just a moment. It's pleasant to have you on the MGM Theater, Charles.
It isn't very much of a change, is it, Howard, from the MGM screen to MGM radio?
Well, no, not really. You've graced our screen in many memorable performances. Being an old-timer myself, I remember particularly your Captain Bligh in Mutiny on the Bounty and the Gettysburg Address in Ruggles of Red Gap.
Hey, that was a Paramount picture.
A slip of the tongue. We'll stick to MGM.
It's not a bad place to stick to.
Your most recent picture for us was The Bribe, a big hit, too.
Don't hold that against it. I kind of like hits.
Well, your name in a cast goes a long way to make one. Thanks for the radio show, Charles.
Thank you, Howard.
The Canterville Ghost was presented by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of The Red Danube, starring Walter Pidgeon, Ethel Barrymore, Peter Lawford, Angela Lansbury, and Janet Leigh. Joan Laser was heard as Lady Jessica, and Carl Frank as Cuffy Williams. Original music composed and conducted by Joel Herron. The program was directed by Marx B. Loeb and produced by Raymond Katz.
Thanks very much for joining us tonight. We're here every Sunday from 8 to 11 p.m. Central Time. We hope that you'll always feel free to join us. As always, until then, sleep tight. This is a production of Lobato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.